Thursday night, 8 p.m. hits like a hammer on steel. Rumble lights up, we're loading the wheel. Bible laid open, screens burning red. Me and my man cutting through the dread.
Head to truthmedia.com, grab that raw feed. No corporate chains,
just truth, plant the seed.
I'm the shadow hunter, she's the warrior flame. Tracing justice, live, torching the game. Shadow lights explode when the clock strikes 8, and dawn's riding hard, crashing through the gate. Drops turn to fire, darks tear the veil. Truth and media blood, we never will fail. Tracing justice, running hard and true. Thursday 8 on Rumble, me and you. Husband and wife forged in the fight, digging graves for lies on the freedom's light. Great awakening roaring, feel that rebel fire. Truthmedia.com, taking it higher. Lock it in, brothers and sisters. Faith like iron, no surrender, no rust. Rumble's our highway, in truth we trust. From morning to cold to the midnight ride, tracing justice forever, no place to hide.
Dawn and justice mornings, Thursday night thunder. Rumble at 8, tear the veil asunder. 22 burning, this love runs deep. Man and wife standing, no promises cheap. Tracing justice, running hard and true. Thursday 8 on Rumble, breaking through. Husband and wife side by side in the war, digging deep for truth forevermore. Great awakening blazing, set the night on fire. Truthmedia.com, lift it higher.
Welcome back to Tracing Justice. I am Josh, the Justice Cometh, and this is my beautiful wife, Tracy Taylor.
Hey, everybody.
So we have got, let me get this mic out of the way real quick. Sorry about that, guys. So we have a great show planned for you tonight. You know, we did an Ingersolllockwood dig, and it was a big hit. Last time we did an Ingersolllockwood dig, Ingersolllockwood themselves that we verified came into our show dropping coordinates
Yeah.
for us to look at.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It
I
was.
mean, I remember you were like, wait.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, wait, let me make sure this is the real them.
And we did. We
Yeah.
verified. We did verify that it was the real Ingersoll-Lockwood account. If you don't know what Ingersoll-Lockwood is, hang on, because we're going to explain it all to you. We're going to go back to the past so we can see the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know what's going to happen on this, but we have a returning guest today, and I am so excited to have him back on STAVconnects. And we're going to be bringing him back in here in a little bit. He's got a new project going, guys. And I highly suggest, and I'll give you guys all the links later where you can follow Stav, because I'm guarantee you he is going to blow you away tonight, because he always does, and he always brings the receipts. He is a master dot connector. It's what he's been doing for the past 10 years, is connecting dots and mapping out the entire deep state.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to bring him on here in just a minute.
Yeah.
So we got anything else before we want to bring Stav on?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Let's go through the chat.
Oh yeah,
Let's say hey to our friends.
Oh, I totally forgot, guys. So we are broadcasting on Rumble tonight. So if you are watching from Rumble and you're rumbling in the chat over there, make sure you give us that thumbs up.
Yeah.
Make sure you give us that little repost right there, and let's get some more butts in the seats. And the Xers, as AJP always says, they're very excellent. And the chat is already going wild over there on X as well, too. And guys, we're also broadcasting to 2 new locations tonight. Well, they're not new. We're going to be dipping our toe back in. So we're broadcasting from our Facebook tonight. So if you're not following us on Facebook, make sure you search Tracing Justice. We're going to be right there. And also we are broadcasting to our YouTube channel. So make sure you're checking us out on YouTube. Just search for Tracing Justice. And we can't forget our Pilled family at pilled.net as well. So thank you all for joining us. So let's see who we got here in the chat. So right now I see, let's go back up. Why, Abby Blue Eyes is in the chat. So thank you.
Welcome, girl.
Welcome. So her and her husband have recently went out on as an independent. So make sure that you're giving them some support and looking there. So Bella Child. Yep.
It's my girl.
And K9 Andrea, one of our mods, and I'm telling you guys, she will sick the dogs on you. If you're rowdy in my chat, she will get you. So, Tense 15, welcome. Cardius Maximus, another one of our mods. Hello. And let's see here. Who else we got here? Freedom Fire 1776. See, Steve, I know who the alternate names are with people. I can remember.
Okay, you're going to say that. You're going to mess up.
So, Freedom Fire 1776 is Nielsen 75 in Rumble. So, welcome. And part of our Truth or Media family,
Yes.
Julie Donuts. Julie, I hope you liked that video that I made you today. I worked on it just for a little bit. So thank you for joining us. And USAID Paid, one of our great supporters over there. So thank you for joining us. Signal Over Noise.
Bestie.
That is Tracy's bestie, one of her besties. She's got listen, guys, every time I come home from work, she's talking to somebody on the phone. So yeah, she's got a lot of besties out there. Rob, Bobby Chuck 2000 coming in. So Adult Crumbler coming in. Thank you. I see you returning there. I haven't seen you for a minute.
Yeah, good to see you.
Nana 2112 and R Pierce 17. Hello.
Welcome.
Kilburn 1776. And Kilburn, man, he's been with us since we started podcasting. So thank you. I appreciate your loyalty there. 3927 365. She must have just got done on her stream tonight. So with Read the Bible with me. So welcome. Yeah. Annie Oakley. So thank you.
That's
thank
Mags.
you. Yep, that's Mags.
Yeah.
You know what? I almost messed up and I didn't remember.
See?
But I did at the very last
No,
second.
you
So,
didn't.
yeah.
I reminded you.
Stav is in the chat already. We're going to be bringing him on here in a minute. Texas Trump Girl. Thank you for joining us. And she's one of our Truth or Media mods. Let's see. Pamela K, welcome. And fairly new name, JKJ7VA. I see him in Steve's chat all the time. So
Thanks.
welcome, and thanks for coming and watching our show. Mary calling up, welcome.
Steph
and
seems you missed Steph.
oh yeah, Steph. Yeah, Steph, thank you so much for showing up here. And let's see who else we have.
Dolphin, you're going so fast,
Well,
babe. Slow down. There we
well,
go.
Dolphins 2278. Welcome. Hey, they're from Louisiana. It's Stacy from Louisiana. So
Wow.
hey, thank you
Hey,
very
do you
much.
see that about the shooting in the mall?
Oh my gosh,
That's where we shop.
awful.
That's where our Christmas shop.
Yeah, and I got home earlier today and I saw that shooting, and we've been in that mall like a million times. So we pray for everybody.
Hey, I
and all
guess
the
it's a good
victims.
thing we're broke. We weren't shopping.
Yeah, we weren't shopping, so that is a good thing.
Good way to think positive.
Onward Truth, welcome, and Arlena One, welcome, and so Tammy Blystone
Yeah.
and RNG Fab 60, welcome. That's a new name I haven't seen before. So we've got a lot of new names in the chat. So
Nice.
thank you so much. Blue Eye says that feeling when you find the other Q peeps. Love, been in this battle from the beginning, and now being on the precipice is an amazing
Yes, it is.
feeling. Yep,
Yes,
it sure is.
It's been a journey, guys.
So, guys, real quick, I'm going to go through the X chat here. So, we got Annie M8265 reposted the stream for us, so thank you there. And Jen Kabat, welcome, and I see you in there all the time. There's my girl Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us
Spammy
tonight.
girl.
And Wendy, I hope your back
Another
is
guest.
doing good. I know that you were having some, issues with your back before, so we've been kind of keeping you in our prayers. So I hope you're doing well. And let's see here. Yep, Spammy girl.
Yep.
Spam, she is our Facebook manager too.
Mhm.
So she does a lot for Tracy Justice.
She sure
so
does.
Thank you
She
so
sure
much.
does.
K9 Andrea's over there too.
D Survivor.
D
Hey,
Sur-
girl.
Yeah, she's one of our really good friends. So D
Mhm.
Survivor, thank you so much. Burnby, welcome. And guys, if you're watching in Xland over there, that's usually where most of our audience is. If you just hit that little, I think it's like a little chat bubble or whatever the case may be, hop in the chat and say hi to us. So we like hearing from everybody. Short Mom 51 is in the chat. So
Damon
Damon is another mainstay. Damon
Mhm.
has been with me since I was the Judgment Cometh. So thank you so much, Damon, for hanging with me there.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I think that's going to be it
Ann,
over
you
there.
missed Ann. Hey, Ann. Thanks for being
Where?
here with us. Right here.
Oh yeah, Ann. Hey, Ann. I'm sorry. My chat's like, the names are like this small, and my
Yeah.
vision. I'm getting old, guys. So
Okay.
you got to apologize. I got to apologize to you if I miss you. It's not because I didn't like you. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we've got still people falling in to
Rain Droplet is on Rumble. We didn't see them, so thank you for joining us. I saw Tammy.
yep, Tammy. Yep.
Mhm.
So guys, thank you everybody for joining us in your chats, because we are nothing. We don't just do this show for us, we do it for everybody out there. So we very much appreciate everybody's participation in the chats. And sometimes, I know AJP interacts with you guys a lot. We're kind of a little bit of a different show. We do a lot of digging, and I'm always looking over here at my screen, and my chat's like way over there. So don't think I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just we're producing this show, and I'm digging, and we're finding information. So, but we do very much appreciate all of you. So welcome in. So let's go ahead and bring on our special guest tonight. And we all know him. We all love him.
Mhm.
So I'm going to play this cool little trailer that he's made for his new project.
Mhm.
So let's play it, and then we're going to bring on Stav.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment
A new world order.
with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself.
A new world order.
The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interests, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind.
A new world order.
This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government.
Welcome to STAVconnects. For almost a decade, STAV has been using mind-mapping software to meticulously map our history on a quest to better understand global power systems and the criminal syndicates operating them. Now it's time to share this project with the world. Join STAV as he continues his journey of discovery to uncover our real history, which has been shrouded in false narratives told to us by the victors of war. Connect the dots.
Welcome, my friend. I love that video, man. That was awesome. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was awesome. Let me move this chat real quick. Give me just 1 second so it ain't covering you up here. All right, so here we go. Man, welcome back to Tracing Justice, man. We missed you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I texted you the other day to do kind of a wellness check on you and saying, dude, we ain't heard from you in a bit. So, started talking a little bit and things are kind of looking up for you now, aren't they?
I was thinking last night, it was going to be interesting tomorrow during your show, because I've barely been speaking to people for so long that when I talk for a while, my throat starts getting sore because the vocal cords have been like a monk.
Oh my gosh, man. Well,
yeah, I like it.
I'll tell you what, we have a Discord chat too, and people were always in the Discord. Anybody heard from Stav? And so, but we know what's going on. You were trying to get some things together, and some things happen. So we just glad that you're kind of back with us, and I'm excited to see what you're bringing about Ingersolllockwood. So tell us about how long you've been kind of mapping Ingersolllockwood.
Pretty much from around the beginning of it. When it first came up, I have a friend here in Australia. He's been following it since the beginning, and he just learned all the little tricks where they hide things and just like the formatting of the website, and he's just always been sharing it with me, and we've spent a considerable amount of time mapping it all. like, because I was already mapping, and so like people, some of my friends that know what I do, from time to time they'll be like, hey, can we jump on a call and map this? So yeah, him and I, we've mapped like a whole bunch of it over the years. So yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it. I've never like read too much into it though. I just kind of like, I'm kind of like a robot with the mapping. It's like, I don't get emotionally involved in the process. I'm just data. I just collect data points and let it speak for itself. And it's pretty much what I've done with the Ingersoll. But it's definitely an interesting topic. Like I know there's a lot of people that denounce it, but there's a lot of people that denounce a lot of things and don't actually spend enough time researching it, like if they took that attitude to a topic like World War II and was like, oh, that's been debunked, it was like a certain group of people and whatever. Well, that topic's still being debated till today, It's like 75 years or so.
That's what's great about you, is because, see, when I'm going through something, I'll take a left turn into some other web page and I'm gone for like a couple of hours, and then this progresses to this, and we go down rabbit holes, and I know she does it too. But you stay on mission. You're like, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and you go down a rabbit hole, but you do it so like methodically that it's very effective. And we have to have people like you to be able to stay on task and just connect the dots on everything, instead of going down all these like little rabbit holes here and there. So
I think the terminology of getting lost down the rabbit hole applies to most people, because they don't leave the trail of crumbs behind to know that, to map where they came from and how they got there. So a lot of people, they'll go down the rabbit hole, find all these little junction points, and go through so many of them that they forget how they got there. And then they start with the conclusion, but they're unable to tell the story of how they came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas like I've always enjoyed about the mapping software is it's just like, you just map it as you go. And it's like, okay, so I did this, and then it linked down to here, and then you go map that bit. And then it goes down a few more layers, and it's like, that's a dead end. Let's go back to the last junction, and now we'll go this way because there was a couple of options. So everything I'm doing, regardless of the subject matter, it's like starting point A, and then I get to B, but B has B1, B2, B3. So I'll go, let's go B1 first, and I go down there, and I reach a few junctions, map them, and it's like, okay, before I split on another generation of junctions, let's go back and do B2. And then do B3. So everything I do is just like, it's like building a web, and you just, so yeah, I never get lost. And then I have my formatting formulas where I know what things to save. And then the more of these things you save in the map, well, then you get like a convergence where previous things that you've mapped, if you'd start typing the same topic in again, the software is just like, oh, you already have this one. So you just link it, and then you assess it with the link to what your research channel you're on, and how it converged with the previous research channel. And then you get to look back at two things at once. Yeah. And I refer to them as clunks, when things clunk together, and it's just like, whoa, I was not expecting to see George Bush in there, or Hillary Clinton, or something like that,
right.
Or quite often I'll be like, oh, I already know I typed this in. I guarantee George Soros is going to connect to this in the next couple of editions. And then sure enough, there it is. So yeah, that's how it works.
And you have mapped, you've mapped Epstein, you've mapped, Ingersoll, you've mapped, royal family connections. So guys, if you ever want to check out his maps, his public maps, it's on STAVconnects.com. So you can go there and access his public map there, because he uses a special brain mapping software. And we'll get into that here in just a little bit. But Tracy, you have been following Ingersoll longer than I have. So when was your first sniff at Ingersoll?
Goodness, I have no idea. It's been a while. I mean, I get emails. I've signed up. I mean, years. You should have told me you were going to ask me that, and I would have had an answer for you. But it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I remember before we did our first dig on Ingersoll-Lockwood, she was showing me some of the emails that she gets, because there's a place you can sign up on the website for emails, and they send some pretty interesting stuff out. So if you're not signed up on their emails, you may want to check that out. So, Stav, what do you think overall, before we pop up the website and get it pulled up, in your opinion, what do you think that the whole Ingersoll-Lockwood thing is exactly?
I would say, in summary, it seems to have that kind of, kind of a diet psyop sort of thing, like the Q narrative does. The way there's a lot of convergence between the Ingersoll-Lockwood topics and the Q topics. And a lot of these topics, they're not topics you can denounce because they're part of a conspiracy and you're not into conspiracy theories. They're tangible topics that stand on their own without the promotion from conspiracy. So yeah, there's it's got an element of that, but there's definitely like a futurism tone to it, which dominant tone, I would say, where the Q is got, is very centric around the grand conspiracy, whereas the Ingersoll seems to have a lot more about back end solutions of moving forward and betterment of the world. Because it's got all these these things with like carbon capture, like about improving the environment, improving children's education, which like that's, if you really look into education with the Trump administration, the Department of Education's on the shit list. They're a target for like heavy reform, and that's where all the indoctrination of previous generations up until now has come from, education being the foundation. So the Ingersoll touches on a whole bunch of topics. When you actually take the time to look into them, they are all the kind of foundational topics for a brighter future of breaking free from the current system. So yeah, it's definitely got that futuristic overtone in a positive light, but it's also too got that like psyop sort of tinge to it, like the Q, just not as headfirst and heavy.
Yeah, it's not as I can't think of the right word. I guess the right word would be heavy, because the Q drops, when you go through them, they're very heavy. There's not a lot of pictures on the Q drops or anything like that. And what I think that is fascinating, and we'll get into it here in just a second, when you look through the Ingersoll-Lockwood website, there's a lot of focus on Space Force.
It is.
Okay. There's a lot of throughout the years, and there's songs with him in it. Elon's in some of this stuff too. And who is the largest contractor with U.S. Space Force? Elon Musk. So there's a lot of cues there to possibly some big names tied into this company,
to give it
right
some
here.
legitimacy.
To get
right.
to give it some legitimacy. But it talks a lot about anti-grav tech. And what are we finding out today, folks, is that the person that spearheaded the anti-grav tech with our government was shot today. Suicide.
Are you talking about that Wilcox guy?
No, this is somebody different. This is a woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the woman that pioneered the anti-grav tech with the government. Was shot dead in a suicide today. And there was a bunch of videos of her saying that she was being watched, that she was being followed, and things like that. So I looked into that a little bit today. So very interesting. And when Trump, in his Agenda 47 videos, he put out in the Freedom Cities that we were going to have vertical takeoff vehicles. That means anti-grav tech, possibly. So there's a lot of interesting things there going on. It talks about a lot of futuristic energy too in some of the previous versions of Ingersoll-Lockwood. And there's basically a lot about fixing our world in it. So that's what's kind of fascinating to me. So let's go ahead and get this pulled up.
I mean,
So-
at the very least, it's interesting. And there's a lot of good information there, regardless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what we can do, Stav, is before we start going into your map and your history, let's just do a little bit of a quick run through on what is currently on the website. And there's one thing that I did notice that just popped up today, which I thought was very interesting, was they added a Christian song into their playlist.
Sorry, someone's shooting outside. Sorry, I got to
That's not good.
Nope. I'll be back.
Yeah, so go ahead and check that out. We'll continue on. So I thought that was kind of interesting, adding in a Christian song into their like little playlist that's at the bottom, because Tracy and I do our fellowship in the Word, and that's a big part of us. And I announced 2 or 3 days ago that we were going to be digging on Ingersolllockwood's website. So I was like, maybe they're giving me a little cue again. So let's go ahead and get this pulled up here. So how you get to this? Yeah,
I actually only heard the playlist for the first time over the last few days, like going over the website, like updating the map. And there's some actually some pretty cool little songs hidden in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely there is. So what I'm talking about, guys, if you want to go to www.ingersolllockwood.com, and there's 3 L's in there, you can follow along with us if you're on your computer. So first and foremost, it brings you to right here. And you see the U.S. Space Force logo. You see some of the headers right here, and we can dig into these because there's some hidden links in there too. You see some interesting little links right here. But what everybody kind of looks for is, look, guys, when you highlight everything, what do you see? You start seeing some hidden links right here, like this right here. You've got 3 more dots right here. And you've got 3 more dots right here. Okay? So let's click on a couple of these things and let's see where it takes us.
And I'll just explain real quick so people understand how they're hidden. And that has a white background, and I think it was blue text, like they were using like a blue font.
Right.
Basically, all they've done is made the font white, so it's the same color as the background.
Yeah.
So, like on a Windows PC, you press Control A, and that selects all. So that's what all the blue highlighting is. And so when you select all, you can see the white on white that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see. Or if you're dragging your mouse around, you might pick up on it if it's got a link to it, but it's a needle in a haystack.
Yeah,
so it's basically hidden text is just basically text that is the same color as the background. And until you highlight it, you're not going to see it.
See right here, like in this word criminal, there are separate links for every one of these letters right here. And you can see it underlines it when you highlight it right there, okay? So going back here, and we go and highlight, and we clicked on, I believe, that one right here. And so that took us to this picture. This is a 4-star general with the U.S. Space Force, okay? And I wish I could show you the, I'll tell you what, let me reshare this real quick. Give me just 1 second, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the URLs on the top too. So give me just 1 second. Let's see, we're going to go there.
Oh, that's interesting. That picture is titled "Welcome to Huntsville.jpg."
Exactly.
Huntsville, Alabama. I lived in Huntsville, Alabama for 1 year.
So right here, yeah, it says "Welcome to Huntsville" right here, and you've got a 4-star general in the United States Space Force. Now, here's why it says "Welcome to Huntsville." Do you remember when Biden moved the U.S. Space Force headquarters? He wanted to Colorado. Okay, what was one of Trump's very first actions that he took to get that he took with U.S. Space Force? He moved their headquarters back to Huntsville. So that's what that's a cue to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and then we're going to click.
That guy there is Stephen Whiting.
Yes,
who's the commander of the Space Force. And also too, I'll just throw in some information on Huntsville so people understand. After World War II, when they brought the Nazi, basically rocket scientists to the United States, they took them out to White Sands Proving Ground in New Mexico, which is like the desert, and they took Werner von Braun, the chief rocket scientist, down to Huntsville, Alabama, because you have like Redstone Arsenal down there. You have a lot of military infrastructure there.
Right.
And they took Werner von Braun down to Huntsville, and he immediately fell in love with all, being in the southern end of the Appalachian Mountains, because it's all like, trees, and it reminded him more of home. So he requested that they move the program to Huntsville, Alabama. And Huntsville, the town, its nickname is Rocket City. And the reason its nickname is Rocket City is because NASA has the Marshall Space Flight Center there. And the Marshall Space Flight Center is where they developed the Saturn V rocket that put the Apollo missions up, that put man in space. So Huntsville is like the epicenter of like putting the United States man into space.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Yeah, because I didn't even realize that, to be honest with you. So if you click right here, it takes you to the USSF bases. So you can kind of play with that little map right there, and you can kind of see that. So that's pretty basic stuff. But here's what's interesting. When you go down here to these dots now, okay, on the left of this Space Force logo, it takes you to an X post. It says Space Force Recruiting. In the picture, and the caption is making sure you can withdraw your money from the bank one satellite at a time. And this is the picture. It says Guardians explaining how Space Force controls ATMs. And then the other caption is realizing no one would have access to their money without Space Force satellites. Interesting. So, on our show that we've talked a lot about credit unions and things like that, and how that when you're with a credit union, it's a little bit different than a bank, because you don't have like a board of directors and things like that. It is basically a shareholder company. So if you have an account with a credit union, you're a shareholder in that account, and you have a say-so about what goes on in that credit union. So that's very interesting to see there, that Ingersoll-Lockwood is pointing towards credit unions and how they're tied in with satellites, and how the ATM money is protected on that. So very interesting indeed. So when we go right here, there's another set right here, these three dots to the right of the Space Force logo. So let's click on it. And see, it takes you to the National Credit Union Administration, where you can find credit unions in your local area. Almost that they're saying, you might want to join a credit union.
I mean, that's the way I take it.
I'm about to join a credit union here in Australia.
We just did.
We just did.
Monday.
Yeah, I like the Australian top 4 banks are basically all the one organization with 4 different jackets on, but it all goes back to JP Morgan, HSBC, to Citi Corporation. It's all the same people. But reason in Australia I want to get off the banking system is because they're helping facilitate all the digital identification. Like they're forcing customers into this digital ecosystem, which is then forces you onto the government digital ecosystem. So yeah, I just don't trust them.
And just to let you know that when you're with a credit union, like just for instance, okay, our checking account has a 4.5% yield.
At the credit union.
At the credit union. When you are with a bank, it's probably less than 1%.
Yeah.
That you earn back. So
like with a savings account, it's like, 0.02 or 0.2 or whatever it is. It's low. So that's one good thing.
So I do want to also point out to something too, is Freedom Fire 1776, part of our Truther Media team. She did a huge dig on Elon's X money, and X money.
Casey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I am so sorry. Casey Coyle did a dig on X money. So with Elon, and they're going to have a 6% yield back on a checking account, which is absolutely insane. And I think this is my theory. Okay, I think that with Ingersoll pointing to the credit unions and the X money coming out, this is another way that they're going to basically drain the Fed and get everybody away from the Fed and banking with credit unions and these alternate forms of banking that are not linked to
Central
the deep
banks.
state cabal.
And the central banks, right?
Yes, in the central banks. So interesting there. So as we go down here, we're going to look for some other stuff right here. So this is going to take you to I think it's for, techforce.gov. U.S. Tech Force is recruiting elite corps of engineers to build the next generation of government technology. Backed by the White House, Tech Force will tackle the most complex and large-scale civic and defense challenges in our era. So one thing I have noticed with Ingersoll-Lockwood is they link to some actual real-world stuff that you probably wouldn't be looking for if you were just kind of, just in the Q movement or whatever. You would miss a website like this, or you would miss something on Space Force. So I believe that the Ingersoll-Lockwood website also brings our attention to things that we normally kind of wouldn't look at. So that's interesting on that. So let's go on down here. So this is kind of where we're getting the meat and potatoes of things here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cursor and we're going to highlight this whole web page right here. And I just want to tell you something right here. If you click right here, see, look, it's blank, guys. And there's that symbol right there, and we'll get to that. And there's also a little symbol right here, and we'll get to that. But when you go and highlight stuff, you see things.
It's not normally there.
And it's because it's the same, the text font is the same as the background color, so you normally wouldn't see it unless you highlighted it, just like Stav said. So when you go back up here, we're going to go here. It says go for launch. And it's also got some 3 dots right here too. So if we go for launch, interesting. Look at this. Look at his name tag right there. What does it say? Enoch, U.S. Space Force. Interesting. And this is a Space Force. Looks like it's an E3 right there, the rank right there. So, guys, if you don't know, if you're big into the Q drops, it talks about the Guardians of Intelligence. The nickname for a soldier in the U.S. Space Force is a Guardian. Interesting. I didn't know if anybody knew about that.
Also, too, the Enoch on there, I think that's depicting the guy's name, but that's not the only mention of Enoch on the post as well.
Correct.
Oh, absolutely not. There's many references to Enoch.
Especially when it lists the what is it, the Travels of Baron Trump or whatever that is, and it lists the Book of Enoch in there.
I think it's like a suggested read, or something like that. Yeah. So let's go to right here, these 3 little dots right here. Interesting. So it brings you to a web page that says 1770-51. So we start highlighting things. And look at this, guys. We're just going to highlight it all. And then we're going to... Stav, have you mapped all this out?
The whole website.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So we're just kind of doing like a quick overview on what's on there right now.
You could be here all...
Yeah, we could do a 4-hour show just on this website. So I don't know how you pronounce that right there.
Hanabu.
Yep, inspired craft. Space Force Design Proposal Summary, prepared by Space Lab's Advanced Research Division. Says this document provides an enhanced review and detailed design proposal for Hanabu inspired aerospace craft. The findings are based on the reverse engineering analysis of the original crashed Habanu recovered from classified incident sites. The objective is to prevent present the United States Space Force with the next generation aerospace platform capable of high speed, high maneuverability, and vertical takeoff landing operations. This platform is designed to use an orbital deployment, deep space reconnaissance, and rapid terrestrial response. In layman's terms, rapid terrestrial response is space.
Kilburn says Hanabu or whatever is German tech.
Okay,
Antarctica.
exactly. So when we go back to our last Ingersoll-Lockwood dig, it gave us a plethora in a hidden link linking to a website with space saucers in it, UFOs and all that.
But they weren't. They were just different. It was just different countries' secret craft, right?
Yeah, so the United States had some designs on there
Right.
for this anti-grav tech. The Germans were the number one that had the most, okay? And you had France, you had Italy, you had Australia in there too.
Like it was like everybody had their own, right? And so at the time, I was thinking that this unidentified, these UFOs were just they weren't like extraterrestrial, like alien. They were secret. Like each country had their own secret military discs, if you will, and they kept them secret from each other.
I got
That's
you.
the way
Yeah.
I took it.
Also, too, I just throw something in.
Mhm.
If you look at Ingersoll-Lockwood, the actual man that lived in the late 19th century, in the 1860s, he was like an ambassador, the title of consul to the Kingdom of Hanover, which was to become a part of Germany.
Okay.
So Ingersoll-Lockwood, the person, actually has ties back to Germany in the late, well, kind of just past the mid 19th century.
So, back to when it was German royalty back then, and it was before all the Nazism and stuff like that. So, correct?
Yeah, this was all the kingdoms, and Germany was built from came into existence from the unification of a bunch of kingdoms.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
these were the powers of that part of Europe back in the day. So yeah, I think that's a notable thing with actual Ingersoll-Lockwood, the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to bring something to everybody's attention. We're talking about these UFO files, and Trump's wanting to release the UFO files. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we have had this tech
Mm-hmm.
forever, since like the 1940s. And these UFOs that we have seen, it's not little gray little men in these little spaceships and things like that. Guys, it was our own people. It was secret tech programs going on way back then. When we went through the first Ingersoll-Lockwood, like Tracy was saying just a minute ago, there was these sketches and designs and blueprints of these things that's been declassified over the years.
Right.
So when Trump says, "Oh, we're going to release the UFO files," ladies and gentlemen, it's not what you think it is.
Or it may, or it may not be. But I don't want to say definitively. I mean, this right here just says rapid terrestrial response. So I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't want to say one way or another. But from that site, it was military discs.
I'm just kind of putting two and two together and staying in the real world here.
Yeah.
And not, going out there and Kirk and Spock and all that stuff just yet.
Right.
So in Trump, even before he got elected, was talking about vertical takeoff vehicles, and we're having all these scientists getting killed. If you had a vertical takeoff vehicle with anti-grav tech, odds are you're going to need some kind of mini nuclear payload. Okay, we've already established that the U.S. Space Force has already got tech out there for mini nuke reactors. Okay, and now you've got all these scientists getting knocked off that's involved in all these nuclear programs right now. So just something to think about, guys. So as you can see, 1717-51. Stav, you got any ideas on that? What that could mean?
I mean, what about Area 51? I mean, I'm just saying, what's
Yeah.
the 51? I'm just saying, I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, Area 51.
What else could the 51 be?
I have something for Area 51 once we get going. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I didn't even like over the last few days, knowing that we were going to do this show, I was like, oh, I better go check the website. And, I figured it was going to be updated because I haven't done anything with it for, a good 6 months or more. So when I was mapping it all, I was just like, oh, interesting. But it was just data entry, which it's like work. It's not fun. It's not sitting there decoding and doing all the fun stuff. It's doing actual work. Like it took me hours and hours and hours to map the latest version of the website. But when I was doing it, I wasn't really paying attention. So when I saw the 1751 on a blank page, I was like, it's hidden text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lit it all up and then started transcribing it. But I didn't even try and interpret the 51. But I would say that the 51s, the reference to Area 51 is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So Burn Spy 34 is coming in. He's saying, I think you've got a fellow Aussie in here with you. So I believe, actually, I'm sorry, that's Burn Notice. So I don't know if you know who Burn Notice is, but I believe that is Burn Notice in our Rumble channel.
That's my friend Tim here in Australia.
Oh, awesome.
He's on the other side of the country.
Okay.
Gotcha. So
well, he might be in the US right now, but yeah, he's on the other side of the country.
So 1717 could be like the location of the file or whatever is housed in that, referring to Area 51. So it could be
is the Pennsylvania Ave address of Ingersoll.
Correct.
So
show that picture.
It might just be referencing that.
I think it's referencing this.
So guys, we have actually been to Ingersoll-Lockwood, 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue, when we did our when we went up there for an event, independent media event. We did visit, and that is Seth taking the picture, by the way.
Yeah.
So we have been inside 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue. We did not get into the elevator and go up to the other floors, but also, Stav, could you explain, because a lot of people probably have been digging on Ingersoll-Lockwood, and there's a lot of companies that return to the same address on that. Could you explain that to our audience of maybe why that is?
Yeah, well, the 10th floor of that building is a virtual office, which every city in the world has virtual offices. And what it is a company will go and like lease an entire floor of a building or even purchase it and set it up with conference rooms and, different offices and all that sort of thing. And then, have in-house services. So if we were all to go form a company, we could, we can't afford to have a full-time office, but maybe 2 times a year we fly people in from another part of the world and we want to sit down and have a conference meeting. Well, we go rent a virtual office, and usually those virtual office businesses will, like have a service where they'll make like placards and banners and all that sort of thing. So when you book the conference room, they'll go put your company placard up on the conference room. So when your people from overseas come in for the meeting, it looks like it's your office.
Gotcha.
So it's just basically like, it's like a storage unit where you go and put your furniture between moving houses. It's like kind of like a storage unit for businesses, because a lot of businesses can't afford to have full-time offices, especially at an address like, especially like an address like 1717 Pennsylvania Ave would be one of the most expensive offices in the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
It's very prestigious.
Yeah, and also too, with that address 1717 Pennsylvania Ave, during Trump's in the 2016 presidential election, Hillary's campaign office was registered at that address, and Trump's president-elect office was also registered at that address.
Wow. Did not realize that.
Why is there a line under? that.
There is a significance there with that address. It's like it's being used in the 2016 presidential election.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, Tracy just pointed something out when I highlighted this right here,
I mean, I'm just wondering.
and you hover over it. There's a separate link to this, so we'll just click on it and we'll see what it is. And it takes you to fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump declares a national emergency at the southern border. This was the White House, January 22nd, 2025. So it does link to an actual White House fact sheet on that. So I never realized.
Wait, scroll down one more time.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the significance of the 500 and didn't it say that? Roughly 550,000 unaccompanied alien children have been encountered at the border.
Good catch, Tracy. Look at this, guys. So you see this 550,000 right here because it's hidden, because when you take it off,
You don't see that.
but then when you highlight it right there, it says that, and it says, and again, read it one more time.
This has led to untold hundreds of thousands of children being trafficked. Roughly 550,000 unaccompanied alien children have been encountered at the border since fiscal year 21.
Wow.
So I was just wondering where the 550, what that was about, and that's what that's about.
Huh. Great
Interesting.
decode.
Okay.
So we were right here, guys. So let's look right here, and I think we missed one. Yeah. So we went to this one, did we not?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1751. And so when you guys have time that's watching, go back to that link, and I can show you where that link was. Okay. It's these 3 dots right here below this picture. Okay. And then you can read through all of that when you highlight it.
It's a lot of stuff.
And it's a lot. So for time's sake, we've only got a couple of hours, so we're going to move on, because the last hour,
yeah,
I kind of want to go through Stav's map on some of this stuff. Okay, so let's go to a couple more things right here, and we went through this on a special Tracing Justice, and I know that people didn't get to see it all.
That is so crazy, though. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
Go ahead.
But every time you move that, it look, you would be here for months. I'm just telling you, each one of those is clickable.
Yeah, so
Guaranteed.
it takes you to a separate link. So we'll start with this one right here.
I like what Freedom Fire says. 1717 is the door.
Sorry, guys, about the commercial. I have to use Chrome. I'll see you in Cuba.
Wow.
It's a link to a song.
I kind of want to listen to this whole thing.
Huh. Interesting. So that takes you there. So remember, Cuba. So let's go to the C real quick. And
George Bush, the unauthorized biography.
Yep. So what this tells you is George Bush's. We went through this on Tracing Justice. You weren't here with us for that special episode. Basically, what this is saying is, guys, you need to watch Freedom Fire's episode tomorrow in Cardius Maximus, because they're going to dive deep into the Bush family going back to the Prescott Bush. So it's very, very important that you guys get some context on this. I'm not going to ruin it for them. So make sure you're tuning in at 8 p.m. tomorrow on Truth or Media's new show, The Receipt Room, Signal Over Noise. And I'll give you guys some links to that. So it's telling you basically about an unauthorized history of George Bush and how they're linked to a bunch of bad people out there, guys. So let's go back to the Ingersoll website here. And we'll go to the R. And look at this, guys. How Bush's grandfather helped Hitler's rise to power.
Wow.
Yeah, the Bushes is the Bush family is another topic that I feel like for years has been blown over. You know, there was the funeral and everyone's like, oh, look, they're passing around the message, the note, and, you know, like blew all that up. But actual like digging into the family and all their history in depth, it's something it's pretty damn significant in the scheme of things. You know, just look at like what happened on the clock of Bush Jr., like 9/11. and look at the byproducts of 9/11 and what that did to national security and government overreach with, you know, what they were able to do with citizens and with international law, and then how that rippled through the whole world and countries all changing their legislation. That there's a lot more to the Bush story than most people have taken the time to tell.
Oh, absolutely. And
I
you
will
know,
definitely check out the thing tomorrow.
and what I'm trying to tell you is that they ran as Republicans for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. It gave them cover for all these years, and it kind of still gives them some cover, because to the unawake out there, you know, they're Republicans. They were fine. They were good.
What the Bushes are British Crown agents, and that's
Yes.
the bit not many people know.
Mm-hmm.
You
They're
know,
British Crown agents. You go look at H.W. Bush,
Mm-hmm.
Bush Senior. What you don't see on Wikipedia on the end of his name is the initials GBE. He's knighted into the British monarchy.
Wow.
They don't give that to just anyone. The Bushes are British Crown agents.
Wow.
And what I really enjoy about what's going on in Iran at the moment, you know, everyone's like, it's the city of London, it's the city of London, but most people are not articulating specifically, like, what is it in the city of London that's
Mhm.
doing it? Yeah, Lloyd's is doing the insurance, but yet that doesn't summarize the whole story.
right.
What Iran is going to unravel, and I said it when I was on your show, you know, a few months back, and we were talking about the 2020 presidential election. What Iran is going to unravel is going to tie to what the 2020 presidential election is also going to unravel, and it's all going to go back to the British. And you can't just summarize and say, "Oh, it's the city of London," because it's you know, like the city is the corporate. There's a monarchy there as well. And like I said before, you know, the original Ingersolllockwood ties back. He was the counsel to the Kingdom of Hanover. It's not just one kingdom. The world was a lot of kingdoms. And Burn Notice in that was in the chat, my friend. You know, he's very knowledgeable with a lot of this part of history, going back into the Prussians, and the story is way bigger than most realize.
Oh, absolutely.
But every topic that's getting touched on in the U.S. at the moment, what people need to do is look for the channels from that back to the British. And with all of this, with the Bush family, it's what goes back to the British. You go look at like all of the overthrow of the Pahlavi dynasty in Iran. That goes to the Anglo-Persian oil company, which is what turned into British Petroleum. And then you go look at like British Petroleum, Britain, the Crown, and then you go look at like the other big player, Shell. Shell was originally Royal Dutch Shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the old world powers, the kingdoms, are the ones that poked all the holes in the ground for the oil to monopolize everything, because the US dollar has been backed on the petrodollar for a long, long time. The whole financial system is pegged to the petrodollar. And what we're seeing right now is seemingly that being taken away from them. And that's what all the disruption is. And, you know, like I dated an Iranian girl. So, you know, like I got to hear their perspective, and, you know, her father didn't speak English, but she told me her father's viewpoint, and he liked what Trump was doing at the time. And this was several years back, because he saw that, like, oh, is he going to help get our kingdom back and take it back from the people that took it? And it was the British.
Wow.
Just like America, 1776 was Declaration of Independence from who? The British. Did they just admit defeat and go, oh, we just lost our new world, back up, let's go home? They're the deep state. The British are the deep state. The whole Russiagate narrative, Christopher Steele dossier, MI6, the CIA. CIA is not American. It never was. It's MI6 extension.
Mm-hmm.
Mossad, MI6 extension. They're all one and the same, you know?
You know,
So the Ingersoll does paint some of this picture, if you know what you're looking for. It complements that narrative.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just going to talk about, you know, the Bushes are known for they were big in the oil, you know.
Yeah.
that was their thing. And so what you're saying, that makes perfect sense. All of it.
And people get so tied up into Israel and all of that. Guys, that's just another deep state hub. That's all it is.
The state of Israel was founded in 1948,
48.
and it goes back to the Balfour Declaration. Balfour, British.
Mm-hmm.
Palestine, up until 1948, from like 1920, was what? British Mandate Palestine. They were in Palestine for 28 years before the creation of Israel. They've been in that whole region.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Gaza Strip and that whole situation over there, it's all orchestrated and governed by the British. It has been for 100 years.
And Iran just acts as a proxy for them to keep the forever wars going, to keep the military-industrial complex going, the threats of nuclear war, and all of that, guys. And it's done to control oil prices. It's just there's so much in Iran that back in when Q was dropping, there's so many drops about Iran telling us Iran's coming. Iran's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Iran's coming. There's a reason Iran's coming. It's because when you open up Iran and you get into there and you get the military generals now cooperating with the United States and we're getting states' evidence turned over to us, it's going to open it up to Biden. It's going to open it up to Obama. It's going to open it up to a whole lot of other things. The 2020 election. Uranium One, Hillary Clinton. I mean, guys, it's all connected.
Bill Clinton is Rhodes Scholar. You want to see who some of the most influential British academics are? They're Rhodes Scholars. The Rhodes Scholarship is a part of the will and testament of Cecil Rhodes. He was the British agent that was very, very close with the Rothschild, that used Rothschild finances to set up the British empire in Africa, and set up like the De Beers for all the diamond trade and the diamond monopoly, to set up the infrastructure, which would then become like Rio Tinto, which is one of the biggest mining companies in the world. Like the tallest building in my city on the west coast of Australia here, it's a Rio Tinto building. Like, this is my state in Australia, is their backyard, because my state makes up 1/3 of the Australian landmass. There's a gold mine like 800 kilometers inland from where I am. That gold mine at one point was producing 1/3 of the world's gold. Wow. And then the mint in my city, where they mint all the bullion. Well, I got told by a gentleman that he is in competition with them across the street in a little independent store. And he used to go on the tours all the time. And he was always trying to wean himself into all these little corridors and stuff to look at all the artwork on the walls. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he goes, all the walls were lined with portraits of the Rothschilds. And it wasn't until I started asking questions, they went and took all the portraits down. Wow. So like this, the west coast of Australia is essentially a rubber stamp of the British in South Africa and what they did with monopolizing all of the mining over there and stealing all the resources. And they're doing no different here. They're doing it under a perceived legal entity, but they ain't paying much tax and stuff. They're doing it for like nothing. They're selling it for pennies on the dollar. And, like all the steel that they mine here, all the ore, it gets all exported to China and India, for way less than it's worth. My state in Australia and the state of Brazil are the two highest grade iron ore in the world. The iron ore here, they have to dumb it down to drop it down to global standards. So they blend it down. So, it leaves Australia for pennies in the dollar. And then we buy it back in all these flimsy little Chinese made forks that bend when you're trying to like eat some mashed potato. But we're paying a premium for it back. Yeah. This is all, and Australia's Commonwealth. Everything that everyone is researching, if you haven't connected the British to whatever topic you're researching, you're either off course or you're on the wrong topic.
Right.
Because right now it should be all hands on deck, figure out the British-US ties.
Yeah.
And this is what, like, this is stemmed from the Ingersoll site, bringing up the Bushes. The
You
Bushes,
know, when you
Crown
look
agents. The Clintons are Crown agents.
when you look at Five Eyes too, you know they're right in the center of Five Eyes, and it's just another tool that they used in their little playbook to spy on us.
I don't refer to it as Five Eyes. I refer to it as Four Eyes spying on one.
Yeah,
Because
us.
the other four eyes, the other four eyes that are not US is United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, all Commonwealth. All Commonwealth. And again, if you go back to the beginning of the Russiagate scandal, the narrative started and the FBI Crossfire Hurricane investigation started after George Papadopoulos was baited by Joseph Mifsud. Mifsud, like a Maltese professor. I think he owns a university over there. George Papadopoulos went to this event, I think in Italy, and Mifsud told him about these potentially damaging emails to the Clinton presidential campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Then Papadopoulos, a few months later, was baited into a meeting at the Kensington Wine Rooms in London by then Australian Foreign Minister, which is like the Secretary of State for Australia, by then Foreign Minister Alexander Downer. And Downer got a couple of drinks into Papadopoulos, and Papadopoulos told him about the emails that he was told about. And then Papadopoulos, using his powers within the Five Eyes connections and being the foreign minister of Australia, he reported that and then to the FBI, and then the whole Russiagate scandal and Mueller investigation stemmed from all of that. Alexander Downer, while he was the foreign minister, he was the signatory on updating the memorandum of understanding between the United States and the Commonwealth representing Australia to update the JDFPG, which is the Joint Defense Facility Pine Gap, where that's the Five Eyes, the big domes you see in the middle of Australia. He updated that while he was in office. And he also, too, sat on the board of directors in Australia for Huawei, which is what Trump banned in the US. And Huawei, when Australia government did its big national rollout of all its internet infrastructure, the big originally government owned telco, all of the modems and devices that they were badging with their telco, they're all manufactured by Huawei. They basically put the spying stuff in all of the infrastructure of Australia's internet. And that Downer guy did that. And he was also the High Commissioner of Australia to the United Kingdom. And he now lives over in the United Kingdom. Crown agents, Russiagate, all goes back to the British.
Anything bit of it.
Anything from Australia, British, because Australia's British Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
Commonwealth of Nations.
We met George Papadopoulos.
Yeah, we did. We met George Papadopoulos. He seemed like a pretty good guy.
He did.
You know, he seemed like a pretty good guy. But
Him and his wife.
AZ Mama, she was asking in the chat, what are we doing over in Iran? Rewind it just a little bit. Go watch the replay that you didn't catch, because we did address that. It all, guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, the chair that everybody serves that the Q drops are talking about is the crown. It's not a hard thing to figure out. I mean, Q really didn't disguise that one very much. We kind of, just like Stav was saying, if you're digging into Israel and Iran and all that, if you don't get it drilled down to the crown, you haven't gone far enough. So that's what's going on right now. Trump is taking out these little deep state hubs everywhere. The reason reason that Ukraine happened is because optically we couldn't do it. Okay, so we picked up the phone. Hey, Vlad, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go into Ukraine. We got to get Ukraine back. So we can go into Iran, because what has Iran been chanting? Death to America. So we have justification to go into Iran. Guess what? Cuba's next. As soon as we get that all a little settled over there, Cuba's next. And it's not going to be a long, drawn-out process because...
Well, no.
What's that?
I said, well, no, that's not going to take long.
No, it's not going to take long at all. So
I think stabilization is isn't that part of stabilizing, getting the stabilization in the Western Hemisphere as well?
Yeah, because you got to think, if we're going to retake America completely and get rid of the deep state, you've got to take out all the deep state hubs first. And I believe Israel is saved for last as a deep state hub. It is not the end all and be all. Okay. Then we can start cutting off the head of the snake, which is the Fed. You cut off the Fed, you cut off the money supply, you dry up the crown.
And then the Fed as well. You go look at, the Jekyll Island Club and the meeting. They're all British Crown agents as well.
Every one of them.
I've mapped all of this stuff. I've been mapping this stuff for years and years and years. And, I haven't been online sharing it all because I'm still figuring it out. And it's like, I really want to substantiate this before I open my mouth because, if you only have half the story, when you go on the social media platforms as these outlets, it becomes a competition for attention with people that don't even have half the story. Most of them barely have 5% of the story. They're just using punchlines. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I've never wanted to go and tell half the story, even though it's more than what a lot of other people do. It's like, I'd rather just figure it all out and dump the whole damn story and then just drop the mic and be done with it, Mm-hmm. So
mm-hmm.
That's why I'm emphasizing everything in the U.S., you got to find the British ties. If you're not finding the British ties, you're not in the right spots. You're probably taking the dangling carrot that the mainstream media is putting in front of you. Mm-hmm. But the whole mainstream media and this is why Trump is fake news. The British in the early 20th century, a conglomerate of the powers in Britain had an objective back then. This was previous to 1910, to buy up editorial control of the US's top 25 newspapers before World War I. Mm-hmm. They knew the war was coming because they created the war. They were laying the foundation for World War I. And a part of that foundation was buying up editorial control of the top 25 newspapers in the United States. Mm-hmm. The fake news and the MSM is nothing new. It's British fake news in America since the beginning of the 20th century. And you go look back, the New York Times, the Washington Post, you go look through all of those organizations and go through reverse engineer all their mergers and acquisitions and ownership changes and go back to the very, very beginning and then look at those people. And all of those people, they're all British Crown agents.
Well, we have went off on a tangent.
Yeah, well, this is relevant because we've segued. I was about to say, this is relevant to the Ingersoll-Lockwood bringing up the Bush family. Mm-hmm. Because let's just work on the hypothetical that the team at Ingersoll-Lockwood, they're wanting everyone to look at particular topics to complement the process of people having a better understanding of the truth and the bigger story. A lot of people, you bring Bush up. Well, a lot of people on social media have been conditioned. Oh, yeah, they're all part of the 9/11 and that, and they make their little 5-second punchline and then move on to the next Chinese weather balloon topic.
Right.
But like I said before, there's not a lot of long format on the Bush family, but the Bush family are British Crown agents. What's going on in Iran is British Crown. What happened with the 2020 presidential election and the whole Russiagate is the British Crown. So this is where, I do take the Ingersoll serious on that level because knowing what I know is they are touching on some of the correct topics. And the fact that they're touching on topics that a lot of people have oh yeah, we got done with that 15 years ago, So I'd say at this point, let's pull the map up on the screen because I've mapped all the websites. So you know, like then this way we're showing everyone something different. I don't know if I have my little mouse.
So while you're trying to find this, I want to give everybody what an idea of what they're looking at. This is Stav's map, okay? And when I say map, that he has the ability using this software to link one event to another event to another event to another event, okay, through his research that he does. And he can recall all these events and everything connected in with each other. It's all connected. This is a physical, or not a physical, but a visual map that you can look at and interact with and see how the British Crown connects to things. How Ingersolllockwood has pointed us to this, and how it connects to this, and how it connects to this. So go ahead and take it away, Stav.
Okay, hang on. I had to redo my computer recently. I have to like reinstall Windows like way too regularly.
They don't like you, Stav.
Oh, yeah, you have no idea who doesn't like me. Hang on, let me do this. Yeah, I realized like last night, I was like, oh man, I haven't even got my computer working. I haven't had my camera plugged in, my lighting, all that sort of thing.
You've been doing too much digging, man.
Well, I've been doing digging in the garden. I've been doing my mom's garden and my grandma's garden. Okay, so I think, oh, that's interesting. Now it's not even showing the mouse highlighter. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Oh, so, like yeah, little green thing, yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that's not working. Yeah, so what this here is just basically the node for 1717 Pennsylvania Ave Northwest. So, you know, like most cities, as soon as I start mapping anything in the city, I map all the roads. I don't go map the whole damn map of roads, but I just add them as I go along. So here we got 1717 Pennsylvania Ave Northwest. And then here I've got like the floors, the second floor, the third floor, the 10th floor. And the 10th floor is, like I was saying, is this organization ServCorp is the virtual office that has likely got like a really long lease, like a 50-year lease or something on that floor, and is subletting those virtual offices out to everything we'll get into. But the second floor in Suite 250, this is someone that would have a permanent office in there, not a virtual one, is the Trust for the National Mall. So the Trust for the National Mall is the National Park Service, which is someone that Trump's been donating his salary to. So Trump's salary he gets every quarter, and he's been donating every quarter his salary from his first term and the current term to government agencies. And one of those agencies is the National Park Service.
I was just on the phone with them yesterday.
Yeah, because we're going to
getting
be
a permit
DC.
for Washington D.C. for July the 4th.
Yeah. Yes, for the National Mall. So the Trust for the National Mall is basically like the agency that's overseeing the administration of like the mall and upgrades to the mall and maintenance and all that sort of thing. And what is one of the upgrades that Trump's wanting to do?
Yeah,
he's wanting
arch.
to this thing. And so this is in the same building as the Ingersoll-Lockwood address is this organization. So one thing when I put this in the other day that stood out to me, it's got the one nation under God in all capitals.
Yes.
And then I was just like, I wonder if that is in the Q posts, which it is in all capitals here, one nation under God. One nation under God.
I'm going to stop you there real quick, as I just want to explain something to everybody. Stav has all of the Q drops mapped out from the actual chans. Okay, he didn't map them out from Q alerts or anything like that. He went back to the source, and so whenever he needs to research something, he can connect these Q drops in with real places in real events, and he could recall it just like that in his map.
Yeah, so all the backups of all the some of them are gone now, but basically anywhere there was a post, there's one there. I've got the link, and you have the whole board in there to reference, because there's something more with the queue as well. Like in the beginning of it, it's not just the queue, the accounts that was posting as queue. There was like a team of them at the beginning, all working together to seed. Yeah, basically, like there was like 3 or 4 of them, it appears, all went in there on that first day and took control of the conversation to dominate the board, to lay the foundation, to then implement the queue. But in that foundation, I'm pretty sure there's some like coding hints in there. So if you pick up on them, you then know the blueprint on how to then go and decipher the queue posts, which is like not what we're getting into now. But yeah. So the trust for the National Mall is at 1717, Suite 250. So that, they're probably on the second floor. And so that this is what the Trump Arch is going to be going through, is this agency. So the same address. And like I said, I was just curious about I wonder if that term is in the Q post, because I thought it was. And so we got the One Nation under God in all capitals as well, just like on the arch. So that is one of the tenants in the building. Then if we go to the next floor, the 3rd floor, we have Marubeni America Corporation, which is like a big Japanese food corporation. They're in there. But then when we get to, there's also this Global Immigration Partners. I don't know much about what they're about. They have an X profile, but it's the 10th floor and the Suite 1025. So we have the Ingersoll-Lockwood here. But also too, we have AGA Services. This was just actually a tiler. Someone does tiling, and that's beautiful tiling there. It's a big mosaic.
It is.
Yeah. So they were probably doing mosaics through all sorts of like extravagant lobbies and foyers and stuff like that, all through DC. There's the Patriot Strategies that you mentioned. So I have them, Patriot Strategies LLC, going back to 2009. So that predates the Ingersoll-Lockwood by 10 years. We have the Cyber Defense Media Group registered at that address. That ties in with the Lockwood, with the Ingersoll-Lockwood as well. And then we also too have the Organization of Iranian American Communities. So
what?
Yeah, so let's open this one up real quick. So they have a website, which is not loading. They have a Wikipedia here. The Organization of Iranian American Communities is an organization in the United States. While the OIAC maintains a position of non-partisanship in its mandate, critics of the organization have accused it of being allied with the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, which advocates the overthrow of the government in Iran.
Interesting.
Right? This is why I map
interesting.
everything. It's like if you got a subject matter at a location and there's other entities in that location, I just map them all. Because it's interesting when you see these things in clusters. It's just like, if you look at everything that's going on right now, and in the same building as the Ingersoll-Lockwood at the same exact suite address, it's a virtual office, you have the Organization of Iranian American Communities, which is
That advocates
not
for
on
the
paper, but
overthrow.
allegedly pro-overthrowing the current government. So they would want to reinstate the Pahlavi dynasty. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Then we've got this
Wow.
data, logistics, and security solutions, data log sec. That was registered in 2015. Novatech patent firm. So patents, interesting there. And then this national performance specialist. I went and skimmed through a bunch of these things. The Iranian thing's definitely legit. Some of these other things, the Patriot Strategies, the patent firm, the National Performance Specialist. Oh, no, the NPS was actually seemed pretty credible. But the Novatech and the Patriot Strategies, they have a very sparse presence on the internet. So I'm not denouncing them. It's just, when you can open a Wikipedia page and it's like, this is the CEO, and you click on them and it goes to a page and it tells you they went to school here, they're a fellow at this university and all that, it lends credibility to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in amongst all this, we have the Ingersoll-Lockwood. So what I'm going to do here is with the Ingersoll-Lockwood organization, as per their site, they have a board of directors, and then they have the chairman, which is this Stephen G. Samuels guy.
Mm-hmm.
She's done some digging into him.
And then Stephen, he has registered Stephen G. Samuels LLC, which is what this Cyber Defense Media Group is under. So Cyber Defense Media Group is also that's registered at that same address.
Right.
So under the CDMG, you have this guy, Gary Milevsky.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary is involved with this cyber defense magazine. He has a CISSP, which is Certified Information System Security Professional. It's basically a credential system for anyone working in here. So International Information System Security Certification Consortium. So these are the credentials for anyone working in cyberspace. Basically, if you want a government position, working for the NSA, and you're actually working on servers and all that sort of thing, you've got to have these credentials.
And so this company is linked to the man that has another company that contracts training and stuff for for cybersecurity and things like that.
No,
This credentials.
This
credentials.
guy has those credentials.
Mm-hmm.
He has those credentials, so that
Okay, gotcha.
legitimizes that. Yeah, he's not just a talking head.
Right.
He has the credentials, and everything I looked at on the guy. Like if we go here to articles, here we had in 2014, volume 14, number 11, The Volunteer from the 134th Air Refueling Wing, the United States Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
The Volunteer is their in-house publication, I guess. Well, in there, there's a page with information assurance awareness, mitigating risk through knowledge, submitted by Tech Sergeant Adam Husky of the 134th Communications FLT.
The 134th is based out of Knoxville, Tennessee, I believe. That's my home state.
Okay. So then over here on the left, in the blue square, a cybersecurity threat that could be lurking on your phone. Have you ever used third-party flashlight app on your phone? Many of us have downloaded an application that uses the flash of your smartphone camera as a flashlight. Mm-hmm. Gary Milevsky of Snoopwall says that the top 10 most popular flashlight applications on Google Play are basically malware, and that they are spying, snooping, and potentially stealing your information. So Gary Milevsky, who's involved with this cyber defense magazine, which ties back to the Ingersoll-Lockwood, same address at the same virtual office, he co-founded an organization called Snoopwall, which existed from 2013 to 2015. So it's all cybersecurity. In 2015, it reorganized into Snoopwall LLC. And then in November of 2017, so like in the week following the Q post, it turned into NetShield Corporation. I didn't go too much into all of that because I just did all this in the last few days, just getting ready for here. But then another article from him here, DHS cybersecurity guru Gary Milevsky says algorithms in Michigan Dominion machines created fraud. So this is an article from a website called Evidence 2020. And so here, as the long-awaited results of forensic, this was in December 14, 2020 as well, as the long-awaited results of forensic analysis of Dominion vote counting machines in Antrim County, Michigan, are poured over by experts and laymen alike. A popular cybersecurity expert whose experiences range from CNN to Fox has said that the forensic team have the cybersecurity and forensic capabilities and expertise that cannot be dismissed.
Wow.
So, that's, like, this guy he's not a slouch.
So the guy that's on the board of directors for Ingersolllockwood has dirt on Dominion that cannot be ignored by anybody. He's part of the cyber.
I wouldn't say dirt. He has an understanding of the forensic processes for analyzing the data and analyzing the machines. And he's basically saying the capabilities are there to be able to extract the evidence.
Wow.
So then, here, an article from March 3rd, just gone. This one here, state and local officials prepare for potential lone wolf cyber attacks after Iran strikes. So this
what was
is
the date on that? 3/3/2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is an ABC network in, I think it was New Hampshire. So yeah, this was here, while U.S. service members...
Inside every bottle of Comvita olive leaf extract lies the essence of the good leaf. Made...
Okay.
There we go.
I hate those things.
I
Okay. So while U.S. service members overseas continue operations, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security warned of risks beyond traditional warfare, including lone wolf and cyber attacks. With AI, this is a quote, with AI, artificial intelligence, someone could use certain AI tools to advance their nefarious purposes of breaking in or taking things down, said Gary Malevsky, CEO of Cyber Defense Media Group. So I chucked this one in here because that gives us activity of the guy just in the last less than 90 days.
Right.
Like less than half that time. So we've got him on a .mil website. We got the reference with him on the Dominion voting machines, and then an article of him just there. And there's a lot more. I didn't go and get everything, but I just wanted to get enough there to show that this guy is a credible guy. So this is a name that is associated with the Ingersoll-Lockwood, and this guy is, referred to as a guru in the international cybersecurity community. And, again, you go tie in all the Space Force and all the infrastructure and all of that. This is everything Space Force is huge overtone of cybersecurity.
So let me also, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, Stav. So I had somebody that is an NSA contractor that we know that was sitting in Mar-a-Lago, was within earshot of Elon Musk on election night. Elon Musk pulls out his phone at 9 o'clock, looks at it, and says, Trump won. Now, the day before the election, on 2024, Elon posts, Warlock Shield activated. That's all he said. Warlock Shield activated.
Yeah, right.
Well,
there's the Wizards and Warlocks references in...
I believe it's Q post 576, if I'm not mistaken. It says, no rigging, blackmail this time. Wizards and Warlocks, Q.
Yeah. So here, this is one of my older maps. I don't have this ported across into the new map yet, but this is the was all the U.S. Space Force infrastructure at the time of mapping it. And here, under the space surveillance network, collateral sensors, you've got Royal Air Force Flying Dales. So that's in the United Kingdom, and that's this facility here. And the motto of this facility is "We are watching." So this is basically like a big piece of the what's referred to, like especially with the NSA, as the echelon. The echelon is all of the infrastructure of the Five Eyes network. The Joint Defense Facility Pine Gap in Australia with the big domes, that is a part of the echelon. You know, I may have the echelon. Yeah, I've had so much like data compromises and lose everything. So here, like,
There's Five Eyes up there. Yeah, I see it.
yeah, so here's like Sugar Grove. It's a very small image, but like there's that little patch out in the center there. That's domes. That's a part of the echelon. This is the one in Australia with the domes. Echelon 2, Silkworth, Benwith Hill Station. So there, that's over in the UK, I believe, that one.
How many echelons are there?
I think there's like 7.
Did you just say 7? Do you remember
Maybe.
back in the Q drops that it was saying it was referring to Snow White? We all thought it was like CIA computers. Could it have been some of these echelons that?
I think a lot of that stuff ties. You know, like something I mapped recently. You know, in the Q post, you got all those kind of lines that everyone refers to as stringers, and with just
stringer codes.
Like
Yep.
babble. And a lot of people are just, you know, just think it's military talk or something, and it's not for the public. I recently, you know, like maybe a week ago, I went and mapped all of the keyword corona in all capitals. So the first one was in post 713. So corona offline, DEAC. So I'm assuming abbreviation of deactivation.
Right.
And then post 2013. So that's a huge gap. 713 to 2013. And notice that, you know, it's 13 and 13 on the ends.
Yep.
So what that's a difference of 1,300 exactly. Mm-hmm. You know, when you do this method that I'm showing here now, you start picking up on all these things, and there's posts that have exactly 50 apart, or 10 apart, or 100 apart, or 1,000 apart. And they're like, I think it's just quickly, like there's, from everything I've been doing for years with the Q posts, and you know, just so the viewers understand, I've been I read the first Q post within 5 minutes of it being posted, and then that was October 28, and then in December I started using this software. So I started mapping the Q posts in December 2017. That's how long I've been doing this for.
Wow.
So as far as my methodologies and everything I figured out with this, you know, it's I've been doing it for a very, very long time. So in all of my researching and trying to, like, you know, figure all this stuff out, I've found all of these little patterns. And one of the patterns is when you start mapping all the posts like I have, you start seeing these number sequencing things. And it seems to me that there's an element within the body of work of the Q post, which is like a cipher shift, which is a very basic encryption method. If you go buy any sort of book on encryption, it's going to go in the very first chapter. It's going to, you know, the beginning of encryption, it started with a cipher shift and, you know, very basic things. So there are very basic encryption methods, it seems, in the Q post, but, you know, to analyze them and test the theories, there's almost like 5,000 posts, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff to experiment with a theory.
You're one of the very few people that I've ever seen that make that connection, that there is drops within the drops, and certain keywords connect with other keyword posts, and that there's a lot more going on than meets the eye with the Q drops. And the only way that you can really see that is by mapping them all out like this and selecting keywords and see what joins here and what joins here. Because, I was kind of doing the same thing, but like in a very dumbed down version of what you've got, is just connecting keywords with this keyword and, taking, this keyword in this post that connected to here and to tell a story.
Yeah, and a lot of these methodologies that I've used for years, there's basic instructions in the Q posts. There's basic instructions in like the first 100 posts.
The map.
Like when I came across this software, it's mind mapping software. And when I came across it by chance, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. This seems like a good way to, save and aggregate and organize all of the stuff I've been saving. Because at that point, I had like a terabyte of hard drives, like old school hard drives that were breaking and faulty. And I was always stressing like, oh, I just broke a hard drive and it's got these documents and now they're gone and I can't get them and all that. So when I came across this software, I was like, oh, this is like a solution here. It was marketed at the time as an intelligent note-taking system. So I download it. And then a couple days later, I was looking back through the Q posts, and there was the post 128, which I'll just pull it up here because it's a good example of like how quick you can access information. So here's post 128. There's the original post, and then what I do is transcribe the post line by line, because by breaking it down line by line, you can then go and pull out the keywords. And then when you go aggregate the keywords, you can look at all of the lines from all of the posts with that keyword without having to look through the whole post. Because if you go on a Q aggregator site, punch in a keyword, well, it gives you the whole post,
Right.
So then you've got to go look through the post, and it's like, well, it's highlighted, but to contextualize why that keyword was used consistently over thousands of posts, you need to then extract each one of those lines that the keyword is embedded in. And then that's like what you're saying. It's like posts within posts start happening. And then you start seeing like the numbering, like I was saying. But, like here, what is a map? Why is a map useful? What is a legend? Why is a legend useful? So all I did was just go and like from there, it's just like, okay, well, what is a map? I'll just go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary and get the definition of a map: a diagram or other visual representation that shows the relative position of the parts of something. What is a legend? Same thing. An explanatory list of the symbols on a map or a chart.
Yeah.
So if you just go and extract all these basic things out of the Q post and then go look at the dictionary definition, at no point has Stav's emotions come into the equation. I'm just being a robot and following the data and started piecing it all together. There's instructions to like build a map. And when does a map become a guide? And then like there's, when you go and extract all of the map things, it starts referencing like a graphic. The graphic is essential. So you go look at what like the dictionary definition of graphic is, and it's like a visual diagram. Here, graphic is necessary and vital. When I see words like necessary and vital in the Q posts, well, I take them in the context that they are, because, if you go look at an element as humans, what is necessary and vital, you could say oxygen. Yeah. Without it, you die. So if you take it with the same level of severity as like we as humans do with oxygen being necessary and vital, and then apply that to the context of what the Q is saying, just as a hypothetical, it's just like, okay, well, without doing this graphic, creating a graphic, the thing's going to die. It's not going to live and breathe. So essentially what this has become over the years is a living, breathing document. It, every time I do stuff on here, it paints more picture. Yeah, but the definition, a graphic representation such as a picture, map, or graph used especially for illustration. What are we doing right now? We're illustrating a pictorial image created by a computer for display on the screen of a digital device. I don't have to explain any of this. We just read the damn dictionary definitions, and I keep my emotions out of it. And this is, to me, where so much of the people on the internet have failed, because everyone gets so emotionally involved, and it's just like, no, just when you jump on, if you're going to dig and call yourself a researcher, put your emotions out the room and just be methodical and just contextualize things in ways that you can verify and validate them. The dictionary definition is good enough for the entire education system and academia to build all its theses and all its research off, that professors go and grade people that gives them academic qualifications that they can then go become a cybersecurity expert and work for Space Force, all based on their understanding of the context of dictionary definitions of a lot of things and keeping their damn emotions out of the equation, right?
Right.
So that's essentially what all this is. But going back here to the corona, we got 1,300, exactly 1,300 posts apart. Corona offline, deac, and then Corona 1 now offline. And then the next sequence of them was post 2015 or 2014. And that's a double, meaning that the keyword was used twice in that post.
Right.
And then the next time it was a quadruple, meaning that the keyword was in the post 4 times. And then the next time was a quintuple, meaning that the post was in there 5 times. So do you see, like, you've got a single, 2 single posts, 1,300 apart. And then the next post had a double of the keyword, double instance of the keyword. Then the next post had a quadruple, which is a double of the double. And then the next post had a quintuple of 5 elements of it.
Wow.
So you see the patterning there. It's like, this is only one example. And I can say from someone that's been doing this for since December 2017, this formula is through the entire body of work. It is an enormous assignment. If it was deliberately made this way and made to be decoded at this sort of level, I don't know who was sniffing what glue to think civilians were going to figure this out easily. This is a huge, huge monumental task. But going back to the Corona here, Corona 1 now offline. So here, Corona 1959, KH1, Corona C. The Corona are a series of satellites. And here you've got reference to Keyhole. And this here, Keyhole Inc. This Keyhole here is basically these satellites. So here we got the Q post. What's this Q post say? Keyhole, happy hunting. Q.
It's Google. It's Google Earth.
Yeah, it got renamed to Google Earth. But the Keyhole was terminology which came from a CIA program. I got here. DARPA, Corona Reconnaissance Satellite. DARPA's
So-
in the Q posts.
Guess what? Guess where else DARPA appears?
In the
Ingersolllockwood.
Ingersoll. That's why I'm going around. Like, yeah, it seems like a segue, but it ties back again. And this is like, a term I use with what I do, which is convergent mapping. When you go map one topic, one subject matter being Q, and then you go, we'll call that subject A, and then we go to subject B, and the subject matter is Ingersoll-Lockwood, and you start mapping all this stuff out, and then the convergent topic within both of their subject matters becomes DARPA. So this is why I like the Ingersoll-Lockwood. I've always given it the time because I've seen that convergence, another convergent topic that is on the Ingersoll-Lockwood right now, and I think it's consistently been there the whole time, is the InQtel.
Yes.
And I think it says we love InQtel with an exclamation mark.
So InQtel was actually in the news recently as well. Did you know that?
I don't watch news.
Okay.
I wouldn't know that.
It has to do with Tulsi Gabbard, because Tulsi Gabbard has moved In-Q-Tel underneath her jurisdiction now.
Okay.
Directly.
Well, that's interesting. So
it's very interesting.
Okay, so back to Ingersoll. Okay, so we've got here Ingersolllockwood.com, webarchive.org. So what I'm going to do is open this, and I'm going to share this link in the Rumble, and then also in the X. So everyone watching, save that link, take that link, and what this is the Internet Archive for Ingersolllockwood.com website. So it's all of the captures of the website.
It's every change that's ever been made to the website.
I don't know about everyone. I don't know how it works, but yeah, it's captures of the website throughout its lifespan. So here, I'll just quickly demonstrate it. So basically, Wayback Machine, you can go into Wayback Machine and do this for any website, and it'll have captures. However, the powers to be somehow have the ability to remove websites from this, because like I know some really potent things that I've never spoken of, and one thing I've learned over the years is when you find really potent things, don't run to the internet and brag about like, oh, look what I found. Because if you go back to World War I, which is like mainly, like second generation warfare, kinetic warfare, you don't risk your life, jumping from trench to trench and getting, dodging bullets and mortar fire and all that, and make it into the enemy's trenches and find a cache of their weapons unguarded. You don't just jump up and hey, look, I found where they're hiding all their ammo. The first thing they're going to do is point their guns your way, not shoot you, and wait for everyone to come over there and knock everyone off in the process. The same sort of analogy applies, when you go find the source on the internet. I find a lot of people just run straight to social media. Look what I found. And then everyone dogpiles it. And then 24 hours later, it's all erased and it's gone. Yeah. So then when someone like me comes along, that's like, well, I could have caught all that and done a forensic analysis and found 50 layers of it that no one even touched base on one of those layers. It's gone.
And that's what you said, archive offline.
Everything that I am sharing is all offline. I don't need internet to go through my database. I only need the internet to open the hyperlinks. But a lot of those websites, I capture those and bring them down as well. So even if there is no internet, I have all the HTML text of all the stuff as well. And then for the record, I have that stuff backed up and hidden. So if anything happens to me, the data doesn't disappear. It'll just go on its own course without Stav. But it's all backed up offline. Another Q instruction.
Do you have a specific date that you're wanting to pull up here? Because if you don't, I do.
No, I was just going to quickly show because I shared the link. So this Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive, you can put any website in there. Mm-hmm. And if there's captures of the website, it's going to show you up here with these black bars, where all the heavy traffic is. So see, 2021 is when the Ingersoll... 2018 and 2019 are just parked domains. There's nothing on those. But when you get up to 2021 is when this thing started, and there's a lot of changes on the website. So you basically click on that year, and then you go hover on any one of these, and then it'll have snapshots of the times. And then you click on one of those snapshots, and it'll go and open the website for that time. So like Josh was doing before at the beginning of the video, going through and highlighting, you basically, the same process works here. You can just start going through all of the pages and repeating the process. But everyone can go and jump down that rabbit hole on their own. What was the date you were wanting to pull up?
August 8th, 2021. Let me see if I can go along with you. Just going back to the In-Q-Tel thing real quick. InQtel is an independent, nonprofit strategic investment firm founded by 1999 by the CIA to bridge the gap between the U.S. intelligence and defense agencies and high-tech startups. And Tulsi Gabbard recently has taken control of InQtel. And Q speaks of a bridge a lot. It says, find the bridge. And just interesting. You guys can go down that rabbit hole on your own, too. So there's... How did I know you had it mapped out?
Yeah, there's not much in this map. It's all this is, I just seeing what I have here. Rob Painter, who's this guy?
He seems, that name sounds familiar.
Okay, this is brought up in a Q post. So this is Q post 222.
222.
And it's just referencing a link to an anonymous post. Q, is this relevant? At InQtel, Painter's work focused on identifying, researching, and evaluating new startup technology firms that were believed to offer tremendous value to the CIA, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. Indeed, the NGA had confirmed that its intelligence obtained via Keyhole was used by the NSA to support U.S. operations in Iraq from 2003 onwards. I'll just point out as well, my intro video that we played, if people actually take the time to like watch that video a few times and take some notes, I didn't put anything in there just for the sake of filling space in the video. There's a story just in that video, and you know, like there's the Iraq overthrow in there. There's the Bushes in there that we touched base on before. All of this stuff, it all ties together. So a former U.S. Army Special Operations Intelligence Officer, Painter's new job at Google as of July 2005 was federal manager of what Keyhole was to become, Google Earth Enterprise. By 2007, Painter had become Google's federal chief technologist. TK refers to Talent Keyhole, code names for imagery from reconnaissance aircraft and spy satellites. And this is why I was showing those Corona, because the Corona in the Q post, these satellites have been in orbit since 1959 was when they started pumping these things up.
Wow.
So then, you know, one of my research parameters on any topic is, you know, like you got to identify parameters when you're you know, doing intelligence on any subject matter. Mm-hmm. Who, what, when, where, why. So when here we have 1959 is when it started, and we know it's tethered to the CIA. So then it's like, okay, well, let's go look who the director of the CIA was at this time, who was the, you know, who was the deputy director, and go look at all the titles, who was in Congress at the time, where are all the political overlaps and all that sort of thing. And that's where you start really fleshing out the bigger stories, is by understanding, you know, who was in power. Because I can tell you in 1959, the CIA involvement, well, the Bush family's fingerprint's going to be all through it at that time.
George Bush Sr.
Yeah. And if you want to, when you start going back to the beginning of the CIA and the precursor of the CIA, you know, you had Central Intelligence, and then before that, you had the OSS, the Operation of Special Services.
Right.
And you go look at that. That's basically the British setting up the CIA.
Right.
You know?
It all goes back to the crown, man.
Yeah. So, you know, like all of these things, like, you know, again, that convergent mapping method I'm demonstrating here between the Q post and the Ingersoll, it's all relevant.
Yeah.
But okay, so what's the post you want to pull up? Have you got it there? Do you want to take the screen?
Well, I believe, yeah, here, I just wanted to show people something on Ingersoll's website right here. So let me get this pulled up. So I went and used the Wayback Machine, just like you did, okay? And I went back to August 8, 2021. And so I'm going to tie this back into JFK Jr., okay? Because everybody loves them some JFK Jr.
And I'll just point out as well, at the very beginning of my video, Who's in the beginning of the video there, running to daddy at the helicopter?
Yep, JFK Jr. So I want to click on these two little things right here, and it's going to blow you away right here. This is a link to George Magazine, and if you didn't know, JFK Jr. owned George Magazine. So this is an issue from February 1997, okay? The George Magazine. And right here, Bill Gates talks to John Kennedy about Murdoch, money, and world domination. Now, here's what was in the article, people. Worst case, remember, 1997, okay? Worst case scenario, an overpopulated planet choked to extinction by a lung-attacking virus. Bill Gates was talking about it in 1997 with JFK, or whoever wrote that article right there in JFK Jr.'s publication. So what I'm trying to tell you is, go back, use Stav's resource he just gave you. If you didn't know about the Wayback Machine, very valuable tool to use in digging. I don't know how you can dig without it, to be honest with you. So use that. And Stav, I want you to kind of segue in, because we're going to have to wrap this up now. I want you to segue into what your new project is, what you're going to be doing, and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, okay. One thing I'll just quickly say on that reference to Murdoch money.
Yeah, let me pull it back up.
Murdoch, Australian family, media. It's either modern incarnation is the Fox News. British Crown agents.
Yep.
Because the three generations back of the Murdoch family that started the Murdoch Empire in Australia was a part of the Australian delegation to the Empire Press Union conference in London before World War One, setting up how we're going to control the media through World War One.
So people, Fox News is not your friend.
None of them are your friend. So
No.
But before I summarize what I'm doing, in amongst the Ingersoll, you brought it up at the beginning of the show. There's coordinates to something in Antarctica.
Yes.
So I was playing around with that last night. I had a really hard time like finding this, but I found it at the last minute last night. I was up late. I have like 20 terabytes of hard drives, and a lot of the data on there is data that's recovered from things that have happened to me, and my data has been compromised. So, like things lose their file names in recovery, and they all just become a sequence of numbers. And when you've got literally terabytes and terabytes of things, it's really, really difficult to locate things that are in there and adjust a number now. I was up really late last night finding this, but I found it, and I didn't get to the point of correlating. Yeah, I just pull it up real quick here. I didn't get to the point of cross-referencing between the Ingersoll. Oh, what have I done here? Oh, here.
Mac 5x5. He's a listener that's actually in Australia with you. He's from down under. He was.
Oh, yeah, I know Mac's interacted a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's go here, and then let me drag this down. This is worth segueing to. Trust me. Like this is one of the coolest things I've ever found on the internet, and the tiny little window to find this was just like 1 in a billion chance. So,
Okay.
What am I doing? Share screen, select window. I don't even know which damn screen it is. I can't even
Mama
see.
said in the chat, I don't even know where to look. You just got to dig into something. something.
I've
Go back.
got like 4 screens. Okay, let's just go via the. Okay, so pop me up there. Okay, so this is a news article from 2018, January 2018. And it's titled Fitness Tracking App Strava Gives Away Location of Secret U.S. Army Bases. And what Strava is, so now this is Strava, and we go here, maps. So you can see on their website, they got cyclists and runners and all that sort of thing. Basically, what it is all those Fitbit devices, all the data that gets collected from all of these things, all aggregated onto what they call their global heat map. So this heat map here, you got to log in to go too deep. Okay. It looks a bit washed out on the screen. I don't know if I can change the color anymore, but you can see these darker areas. These, like, that's Denver there. Like, let's go to like Los Angeles.
It's densely populated areas, so basically.
Yeah, so all that darkness is all of the data. And as you go down closer and closer, you can see like all of the roads and especially, you know, looking up like in the Hollywood Hills, like Runyon Canyon and all that, where everyone goes hiking and, you know, all that sort of thing. All the data goes through all the crevices of all the canyons. So it's just like literally billions of data points of GPS tracking data that has come from everywhere. But when they launched it, there was a whole bunch of military data on there, which shouldn't have gone to the public. And it was only up for about 48 hours. But when they launched it, I was onto it. I spent that entire 48 hours going through everything because I already knew where a lot of stuff was. So I was like, okay, let's like just go through this and find stuff. So here, sensitive information about the location and staffing of military bases and spy outposts around the world has been revealed by a fitness tracking company. So the map released in November of 2017 shows there's November 2017 again, shows every single activity ever uploaded to Strava, more than 3 trillion individual GPS data points, according to the company. So, however, over the weekend, military analysts noticed that the map is also detailed enough that it potentially gives away extremely sensitive information about a subset of Strava users, military personnel on active service. So, now I got to share a different thing here. I got to put stickers on my monitors so I know what monitor.
Yeah, which one's which?
Yeah. So at the time, okay, yeah, pull that up.
Okay.
So what I did is I did a screen record at the time. It was the only way I could capture this. So this is a video here. I'll explain it as I go. And this is like, this ties to the Ingersoll-Lockwood, I believe, because it gives the coordinates down to Antarctica. And also too, like, I think it's when you click on that little Nazi disc.
Yep.
When you click on that little Nazi disc, it shows that stuff. So let me press play here. So you'll see me zoom down shortly. Might have to pause it. So I'm zooming down into Nevada. And then zooming in. So you can see it was even marked at the time. I know this is probably a bit blurry on screen, but it's got here R4808N, Air Force Flight Test Center Detachment 3, Area 51. It was even labeled at the time. So here we are coming down into Area 51. So that's the mountain range. That's the airfield there in black. So the airfield was blacked out. And the base was blacked out, but now I'm scrolling across. This area here is Groom Lake. This is like when you see the footage that's out there and they're perched up on the mountain and it's just a huge salt lake.
Mm-hmm.
This is out east of the airfield, and I got to keep playing it and pausing it to explain. So you can see here where I'm zooming in, you can see this line I picked up on. This is in the facility. It was in the facility. The border is further east than this. So I picked up on a GPS track coming out of the Groom Lake facility, which Area 51 is a part of. Now, let's look at the track, because this is where it gets like really cool. So this thing's obviously done some sort of curve there. And then I had to start following it and following it. So this is like, you can see this thing's like, it's going in a straight line. And this goes for like a while. You look at the blue slider at the bottom of the video. This is only the beginning of it. So there's like that now just there, we're getting out just beyond the edge of the perimeter, which is, you know, geological features kind of define the perimeters. But you can see here we got a road here.
Right.
So you can start seeing the other GPS where the public is. And that one of those tracks that just went by is likely where people were going and taking video of the facility, you know, sneaking up into the canyons. So you can see this thing's going in a straight line. And let's just highlight how many interstate flights in the United States go in a straight line over a long distance.
0.
Not many, right? So where now we've traveled across state line, we're in neighboring state. So there it is going over Dixie Downs.
I still see it.
See, like still a straight line. So you can see all the GPS data of everything else. But look at it. We're still in a dead straight line. So we right now we're ruling out domestic flights because they don't fly in straight lines for this long.
No.
So what am I doing here? I think I'm like zooming out a bit.
I can still see it.
Yep. So still going in a straight line. This is next level. You wait till you see what this turns into. This is probably the coolest thing I've ever found on the internet. And
you said this ties in with Ingersoll.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had this since 2018, bro.
Okay, so it ends.
See there? No. So there's a little disappearance there. So I'll just pause really quick and explain. When I first started following it, I was like, oh, I found something that's like aircraft or something leaving Groom Lake, where Area 51 is. And I start following it, and then it disappeared. And I'm like, where's it gone? I scroll back and there it is again. And then I scroll back to it where it disappears. And I was like, why is it disappearing? But then I scroll out, I zoom out, and then it reappeared. So it was disappearing because it was like going up in altitude. But the further out I went on the line, this thing was going high, like it kept disappearing. So whatever this thing was, it was traveling at a very, very high altitude. So continuing.
Almost kind of like terrestrial response.
Yeah, well, so here we go. It's still going. So you kind of lose it a little bit, like when it goes through all the cities and that. But you can see that it's still in a dead straight line.
Yeah.
Like if there was a commercial flight that flew that straight anywhere in the US, it would be the most popular commercial flight in the country.
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm taking this one because it takes me East Coast to West Coast, like straight away. Then I'll jump on a flight and go back in one state. But instead, you got to go like state to state to state. Domestic air travel in the US is horrible. So yeah, like still going. So then I'll explain in all my researching of this as well. You've heard reference to the mystery booms,
yeah.
You know, play the big booms in the sky. So I went through, and while I had access to this, I went through, and so there's Jacksonville, Florida. So we're now on the other side of the country. But look at this.
We're still going.
Still going. Still going. So there's the panhandle. And look at this thing. So see, this is all ships. This is all ships. And when you would zoom in on the ships, you would see them like they wobble around because of the tides and the currents and the swells.
They don't go in straight lines.
No.
This is not a ship.
They will track to a like a consistent vector point on the GPS, but nature moves them. This thing hasn't flinched. So it's come across Jacksonville, Florida, the top of the panhandle, and then it's heading out in that direction. What else heads out in that direction? Everything they lob from Cape Canaveral, right? Heads out into this direction. So let's keep going. So it goes out there, like in the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle, right?
Right.
And then it disappears. So you can see it there, and see I'm dragging my hand down, and see it lines up with this point here. So I went and like did point to point, like vector, drew a vector from point to point and lined it up, and it came within like a degree of where the hand is on the map right now. So now let's go and zoom in on there. So this here,
world.
This is an island out in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, and let me pull up real quick here. I want to explain what this island is, so I'm going to have to... Yeah, I got to number my stop screen. I got to share another one real quick here. What have I got here?
How do I know that this is going to lead to Antarctica?
Yeah, pull me up on the screen.
Okay.
So this island, so this is the island that is on the map, on the heat map. Well, and it's called Ascension Island.
Holy crap! Hold it right there. Hold on. Q-Post 4963 speaks of ascension.
Yeah. So here, Ascension Island, the island is the location of Royal Air Force, the British Ascension Island, which is a Royal Air Force station and European Space Agency rocket tracking station, a British American signals intelligence facility, and the BBC World Service Atlantic Relay Station. The island was used extensively as a staging point by the British military during the Falklands War. Ascension Island hosts one of the 4 ground antennas that assist in the operation of the Global Positioning System, the GPS, navigational systems. Others are on Kwajalein Island and Diego Garcia, which is the British territory. That's where all the B-52s servicing the Middle East are all stationed out at Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia as well is also too where I think that missing Malaysian Airlines flight went to. I have some stuff on that somewhere.
Oh wow!
But so the island was named Ascension Island after Ascension Day. It's interesting. Where is this? So it was named after Ascension Day, which... Yeah, the ascension of Jesus is like that's what the island is named after, that biblical reference. So anyway, Ascension Island's got a bunch of military infrastructure on there. Let me pull this map back up again here. Pull that up on the screen. So that's what the island is. So now we'll continue there. So there's the island. And now what I'm doing is, see how I'm just slowly bringing it over to meet right there. I'll pause it. So here, the plus and minus, it's a drop-down menu. I was using the drop-down menu as a ruler, as a straight edge, so I could line it up with something else I found. So check this out. Directly south of this island, so there, I'm just lining it up to use it as a straight edge. And then I got to zoom out because the point is a fair way down. So now we're in the southern Atlantic. I'm lining it up. There's the island there. I'm lining it up to use the straight edge to go down there. Now I'm highlighting this point. So now I'm zooming in on this point. And directly south, with no deviation whatsoever, was this thing. Down in the Great Southern Ocean. What is that? That is symmetrical, and it is made of very straight lines. So then, while snooping around in the area, I found this other thing, which is west of there. And this thing is definitely not a ship, and it is enormous, whatever it is.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, okay, but directly south of this thing is Antarctica. And we go down there, and then I found this thing, another one of them, which is 90 degrees angle change.
That is the coordinates that Ingersoll-Lockwood dropped in our drop. This
is why I'm showing it. So, okay.
Oh my God.
Then you go directly west, and then look at this. Okay, so what I did last night is I edit the video. I had to run it through Adobe Premiere Pro to change all the color adjustments to be able to see it, because it was very faint. So right now I'm changing it to just changing the color of it. So there it is there, and you can see directly west of it, we go over there. So directly north is the other C-shaped thing, directly west, and then look at this here. That is the entrance to something very, very big. And what that GPS data is there is like a security detail that is walking around it or driving around. You can see all the GPS tracks back and forth. It is like something that's like round the clock. This here is probably a runway. Those straight lines are where aircraft are probably coming and landing, and the vehicles are going out. So this is going around the perimeter of whatever this thing is, a big hole in the side of a mountain in Antarctica.
So
the
basically,
the straight edge is the opening, and then the back edge is obviously the way that the only tangible way that they could go and.
So what Ingersoll in the chat that day alluded to, that that was the entrance to the old German base down in Antarctica, where they would house the UFOs, okay, that we were talking about in that episode.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to realize something, that Ingersoll-Lockwood just got validated by Stav in this map that he just found.
Pull that up. So this was like, you can see here, like it's blurry. You can see all the pins. This was, I went through and methodically and paused everything. So when I found it was at a crossroad, I went and found that on Google Earth, and then I put a pin in there and went and pinned this whole thing out. It took a long, long time, but I pinned it all out to keep the trajectory. And then I was able to draw this line. And you can see there's like, it seems like a slight deviation there, like angle adjustment, like dead straight from Nevada, from Groom Lake out here. So beyond like the Bermuda Triangle. And then it seems like there's a slight deviation, but this line here is from point to point. It's the vector between those 2 points. But what Google Earth does is factors in like the Earth curvature, and it gives it altitude, which is like more similar to the flight. So that is where it goes out to the island. And then this here is like going out to the island and then going south and then going east through those symbols that I found and then going down there to Antarctica. So you can see how all of that connected to there. We lost trajectory of the flight around here out in the Bermuda Triangle. But if you follow the trajectory, it went to the island. But the island, the connection from Antarctica to the island is via that little chevron, that kind of chevron, that triangle looking thing. And then those two sea symbols that take it down into Antarctica there. So these two might not be related at all, but it's sure coincidental that they both meet and line up perfectly with this island. And this island as well has an enormous runway on there, which was allegedly built for emergency backup for the space shuttle reentry in case they couldn't make it back to Cape Canaveral. So, you know, like all the people were entertaining flat Earth and we're not actually going to space. And everyone's like, oh, they lob all the rockets out, but they curve and then go back down. Well, the trajectory that they're all going back down is the trajectory out to this island. So maybe this island the whole time, if there is a fake space program, maybe this is just where everything was going to be faked, you know? So
Holy crap,
I'm going to recreate this onto Google Earth Pro because I lost the file, but I can recreate that. So yeah, there was that, and there was one other thing on the tip of my tongue there, but I forget what that is. But yeah, so that's interesting. You know that when I saw that the Ingersoll-Lockwood pointed to that area, that's what I was going to do is just quickly pull up the map one last time.
So people, it's not bullcrap. They were pointing us there for a reason. And Stav, with this heat map that he found that was only on the internet for 48 hours, he validated Ingersoll-Lockwood about anti-grav tech, because you would have to have some kind of anti-grav tech and be flying at an extremely high rate of velocity to have that straight line that doesn't even deviate at all. Okay, where you're just slicing through everything.
Yeah, so along that trajectory, I had. Here, pull up the screen again, if you would. Along that trajectory, everywhere it crossed towns, I went and put in the keyword for the town name and then wrote mystery booms. And it was amazing how many of those places on that flight trajectory had local newspaper articles about mystery booms in the sky.
Holy crap.
So it was like the correlation between the mystery booms and the trajectory of this flight was, I don't know, I thought it was pretty significant. So here we have Antarctica. This is like my old map. So this is my map I started in like 2017, 2018. But if we go here, so this is the area in Antarctica referred to as Queen Maud Land. So all the land in Antarctica is all divided from the South Pole. So that's why it's all sliced like a pie. So the area that we just went into with everything I just showed is the area in red. But if we go open up this here, that area in red is the same area that the Germans referred to as New Swabia. So New Swabia, New Schwabland. So this is where Nazi Germany went into Antarctica. So everything I just showed leads into where Nazi Germany was in Antarctica, which is now referred to as Queen Maud Land.
Don't let anybody ever tell you, chat, or anybody watching this, that Ingersoll-Lockwood's a bunch of BS. If they do, you need to point them to this episode right here, because, my friends, Stav just validated everything that we had been talking about with real-time data.
And for the record, anything I ever present on any topic, I'm not trying to prove or disprove it. I'm just showing
You're just following it.
I'm just a data geek. I just like it. What I do here like if I was interested in Pokemon cards, I'd do the exact same thing for Pokemon cards, and they don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. This is just what I do. This is my outlet, so my brain has something to burn off whatever it does at 100
There's no
miles an hour.
emotion in this at all. None.
No.
So
Yeah. So
well,
yeah, there you go.
my friend, we're going to have to wrap this thing up. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on, what's in your future, and where everybody can find you.
Well, I have my website, which is STAVconnects.com.
Yep.
And that's the best place to, like, everyone should bookmark that. My friend that helps me with everything on the tech side of things, we're just in the process of working out how to get everything I do over into Web3 environment. And for those of you that are not familiar with Web3, everything we're doing, we're on X right now, and what we're doing on these other things is Web 2.0. And it's all based on everyone else's servers. Amazon servers, Google servers, we're all in their infrastructure at the moment. Web 3.0 is decentralized. It's not It's not centered on their servers. It's all blockchained, so it's all on the same system as cryptocurrency. And once something's blockchained, it's very, very difficult to remove its online existence. So, in the coming years, everyone's going to start seeing the migration from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, and all these new government systems, credit unions, and all that sort of thing. They're all likely going to be Web 3.0 based things. So we're just in the process of getting everything to migrate everything over to Web 3.0. So everything I start publishing will be backed up on there. My videos, everything. So if YouTube or whatever, everyone bans me all at once, well, you can't take me down because I'm immortalized on the blockchain. And the more people that get behind the project on the Web 3.0, the more immortal it becomes. So they'd literally have to turn the whole world's internet off all at once to switch it off. So that's what I'm figuring out at the moment. The trailer video I put out, I made that a little while back. I threw that up the other day, and in the next couple of days, I will go and put out like an episode 1 for STAVconnects, which is just going to summarize the enormity of what I've mapped. And so people have a good understanding of the foundation that I'm working off. Because essentially, I got to a point that I was just like, going down rabbit holes and picking off all these topic after topic after topic and building out from that. You're kind of working to the timelines that they want you to work to. If it's on the news, if it's getting hammered on social media, you're being manipulated. And the late Boone Cutler would refer to that as being siloed. So I basically became aware of that a long time ago. So I stay away from all the silo. That's why I don't have very much online presence. But what I've done instead is I realize I've got to, to figure out this big story, you've got to figure out the system of which they work within, which is our world. And our world is made up of what? 196 countries or whatever it is. So I've mapped every country in the world, mapped all the stock exchanges, all of the central banks, and I'm working out in. So I basically built a big giant like drift net, like the drift net fishermen that just drag them for miles across in the ocean and capture everything. I'm coming out to in. And the more tighter that net becomes, I'm scooping up everything. I don't like, it's not even humanly possible at this point that I can share everything I've got because there's so much. So I'm trying to figure that out, but I'm going to put a video out in the next few days and do that. And then off of that, I will start spinning off some regular live streaming. Like I want to live stream the Q stuff because I want to get other people's opinions on all the Q. But I pieced together so much of that again, I'm not a Q person. I'm not promoting Q, nor am I trying to discredit it. I just look at subject matter. And I generally get uncomfortable being around all of the Q community online because it operates out of my parameters. There's a lot of emotion in it. It can get very inflammatory, the discussions. So I just want to kind of present that in a way where people that get deterred by all of the emotional side of the subject, you know, can look and go, oh, this guy's actually not trying to like shove it down my throat like a used car salesman. You know, he's actually like, you know, a data scientist would look at what I'm doing and go, oh, this is actually quite interesting. And, oh, that's actually a very valid point he's just illustrated there. And yeah, I can replicate that myself, knowing nothing about the Q thing. You know, so I'm coming at it from a data science sort of angle. So I'm going to start doing a live streaming on that, but do it in a way where, you know, people can share their opinions and that, because I know there's a lot of people have found a lot of amazing things.
Yeah.
But
And it's going to take all of us. You know, that's where the most results come, is us all working together and presenting what we've got, and you know, coming up with a, you know, semi consensus of what's going on. And but I really love it for anybody that's watching this for the first time, and you're just getting kind of a taste of Stav's map. You know, ultimately at the end of the day, this is going to be for future generations to look back on. And so we can use this information to, once we do finally get to the end and we've got our world back to us, this is going to be the history lesson. This is going to be.
I'm more playing the long game here and building a time capsule for the future.
Exactly.
I honestly, I'm not really interested in being the now anything, you know?
Right. Right.
That's why I like, you know, that Antarctica stuff. I've been sitting on that since 2018. I could have cut a lot of laps on the internet in all of this time, but the timing of it now, and the Ingersolllockwood, and you know,
it just came out.
I've got a lot of stuff, but yeah, real quick, it's easier on your end. Just pull up my website on the on the screen. So because better do it this way, because then people can see how easy it is. So my website says basically STAVconnects.com. And if you go on the website, just like Josh is now, and you can see right smack bang in the middle, click to enter map. So go click on that, Josh.
Okay.
The dot. Yep, click to enter map. Takes a little second to load. So this is a public interface of the mapping software. It doesn't have everything that I'm showing in my map, but this is what I'm going to be building out in real time. And this is going to coincide with everything I do online. So, yeah, I would say to people, just go through here and just start learning how to use it, just like what Josh is doing now, like clicking on things. So there's like kind of instructions there, like on the inbuilt browser. Mm-hmm. And then just up on the border of the browser and the actual map in the top right, there's little arrows. Just go up there. Just go up slowly.
Right here.
No. Go right a little.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah, right there. Click on that. That's what makes it full screen. So now all the little chevrons on the sub nodes there, you're on global power networks. So this is going to be my overarching thing. Yeah, open like all those up, and you can see we've got corporate political overlaps, big tech, government censorship programs, board interlocks, defense contractors and Congress, pharma and regulatory capture. Open up those next four real quick. Just click on the little chevrons. Yep. So yeah, like corruption networks, intelligence-linked NGOs and think tanks, lobbying and campaign finance, sanctions and evasion networks, the UN, IMF scandals, crimes against humanity, engineered crises, fear campaigns, suppression of energy, which ties in with a lot of the subject matter of Ingersoll. So I would say to people, like, go on there and just play around with it and get used to just doing what Josh is doing. It's just like little chevrons. If you double click on any one of the nodes, it will centralize to the node. And then like go and click on Council on Foreign Relations down the bottom there, or the World Economic Forum, any of them. Click on that, double click that. Okay, you have to scroll it down. Yeah. And now go click on those arrows again that you did to open the screen. So now, see, you got links there. So you can go click on the Wikipedia, will be quicker. Click on that Wikipedia link. And there you go. So each one of these nodes, I'm attaching things to, and a lot of them are going to have PDF documents and all of that sort of thing in there. So that's basically, in a nutshell, that's how this works. It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, that is. That's really simple.
It's a lot easier
It loo-
than learning to use Photoshop or StreamYard or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, on my website, just go and click on that dot and learn how to use the map. Like it even says that in the Q post, learn to read the map. You know, so like use that analogy. And everything I do moving forward is going to go into building this map. So then everyone has that public interface. But again, we're going to be getting that across onto a Web3 environment, so it can't get taken down. Because I can tell you right now, there's definitely powers to be that have taken me down plenty of times. And yeah, it'll happen again.
Guys, they have even fried some of his computers before. I am positive of it. That they somehow
all of them. I am praying this computer doesn't break, because like it's already had problems. This computer here, the green thing, is like the most powerful computer I've had. It's as powerful as you can make a computer right now, and it just can't break. The RAM alone cost over 2,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah, he uses the same RAM that they're trying to hoard for AI use.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They call it Ramageddon. All the RAM they're taking away from the public, I got my hands on that before it was gone, and it cost a lot of money. So I've got the latest generation, like AI RAM, the stuff they don't want you to have. So I can say USAID staff needs a lead box to house that thing.
So guys, this staff, man, this has been another mind-blowing episode, and I am so the audience can always get their minds blown when you come on. So thank you so much for joining us, and I know you don't do this a lot for a lot of people, so thank you for coming in and sharing your knowledge with us, because you just validated a lot of stuff, man, and that was impressive. Very impressive.
And in finishing up, what I'll do is, once this video is published, I'll download it and I'll run it through the editing software, and I'll cut it up into a bunch of small pieces and send it back to you. So then you can, put out some snippet videos of some of the more potent things. Yeah, because I know not everyone has like almost 3 hours to go back to and watch these things, but you can distill it down with a bunch of like 5-minute videos here and there. So I'll do that as a follow-up for everyone.
Yep. Well, guys, we're going to end it with that. I'm going to lead us out in prayer here in just a little bit, but just to let you guys know, we are going to be raiding over to AJP Army. His show is going to be coming up very soon. I think he's going to start it as soon as we get finished here from Truth or Media. So any closing thoughts, Stav?
No. I think there's everyone's synapses are probably fried.
Oh yeah, everybody. I don't know if you were looking at the chat, but everybody was like, mind blown. Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. This is my podcast, and I'm sitting here going, oh my God. So thank you so much. So we were going to end in prayer. So everybody, if you'll please bow your heads. Lord, I come to you in Jesus' name, Lord. Hallowed be thy name, Lord. I thank you for giving us another day on earth to spread your word, Lord, to spread your word about you sending your son to die on the cross for all of our sins and giving us that path to glory, Lord. And I thank you so much every day for that I know that after I die, I have somewhere to go, and that's going to be right beside you, Lord, in heaven. And Lord, I ask you that you give us all the strength to spread that word, Lord, because that's our number one mission. Because if we know that if we win this war that you're wanting us to fight for you in your name, Lord, but at the end of the day, if you haven't come to know Jesus Christ as your Savior, Lord, you might as well have just thrown it all away, Lord. So please help us don your armor, Lord, every day, that we may go out and fight the good fight, Lord, in your name. And I thank you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And guys, don't forget, we're going to be raiding over to AJP Army. And we have got a slew of shows tomorrow. So starting at noon, we've got Real AF Patriot with Keeping It Real with your news wrap up. At 5 o'clock, we've got 3927-365 at Read the Bible with Me. We've also got our new show at 6 o'clock with Casey Coyle and Julie Donuts. And so make sure that you're checking for that show. And also we have at 8 o'clock, we've got Curtius Maximus, and we've also got Freedom Fire 1776 talking about the bushes tomorrow in Signal Over Noise. So make sure you're checking that out. And guys, I'm going to end it with that. And in Jesus' name, let's go save the Republic. Bye, guys.
You thought you could bury me. Thought the dark would close in. You were wrong. You don't know who I am. And you never will. You drew the line in the dirt and flame. Said I break, said I shame. Whispered threats through a locked back door. But I've heard sound before. You pushed and pulled, tried to crack my back. But I don't collapse like that. I don't run, I don't bend, I don't bow to fear of men. When the dust clears you'll see, you never buried me. We're not backing down, we're holding the line. Truth will be heard, not just whispered in time. You can't stop this, we will not fall. When justice rises, it answers the call. You thought you knew what I stood on, but this ground's been here too long. Steel in the blood, fire and breath. I don't scare easy at talk of death. You don't know the weight I carry, or the hand that stands behind me. You can shout, you can lie, try to crucify, but chains you swing and stones you throw only make the pressure grow. We're not backing down, we're holding the line. Truth will be heard in its own time. You can't stop us, we will not fall. Justice is coming, and it's coming for all. You thought you could take me down. You don't know who I am. I don't stand alone. God holds my sword of truth.